Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon, so a massive shout out of thanks and appreciation to Bose Nail, Justin Duso, Joseph Pizarro, Samson, Maris, Harry Blade, Mobile Max 777, Neo the One, Lost Cat FE, Rob W, Open Minded, Reese Pound, Del West Watson, Mike, Muted, Dick Earth Skeptic, Chris Hillman, NA Literalist, Maria Nealon's Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Rob H, Nathan Thompson, The Real Gabster, Windrider, Liam Nedrick, Owen Jennison's, Abraham Mohammed, Dave Rakia Gafford, Naibai, Adrian Quintana, Skeptic 936, Life is Short, Fireball X, Felix Hung, Texas Mike, Edwin Johnson, Kirsten Smith, Alexander Main, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I'm going to raise the mic on whoever's in Discord, which is looking like it's virtually nobody, and whoever's in G+, so you can enjoy their conversation while I set up for today's live show. Say that again.
I said, what happened with Simon Dan? I see that you're living rent-free in his head again.
Don't know what you mean by that.
He's blocking you or something?
Oh, no. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. So one of my Patreons got in touch. That screen grab that I took. Hold on a second. Where did I stick it? Did I stick it in Master B?
Yeah, it's in Master B.
Oh, there it is. Screen. So this is one of my patrons, Samson. Said, I went by Simon Dance to say thank you. He blocked me. Feels good. Peace.
He blocked you, or he blocked one of your Patreons?
He blocked one of my patrons who went over to say thank you.
Oh, okay. I got it the wrong way. Yeah, but still, if he blocks one of your Patreons, it's still basically you.
Maybe.
Buddy, you know what's funny? There's this, what's his name? Elijah that comes in here. He sent me this freaking, this guy named Lionel who's got like a YouTube channel that would help with the Trump, losing the election. So he's got a lot of people, and the chat is going by real fast, but he held up a little toy globe and he starts pointing, the lines are not connecting. He wasn't pertaining to flat Earth, but then I text in, Earth is not a globe. Nathan Oakley, 1980. Check it out.
Make it on the air. Did it make it through?
I think one person responded. What's that?
Did it get through?
Yeah. And then one person responded with like a thumbs up and asked if it was a channel. I said yes. People could find it, right? If they type that in.
Yeah, they just type my name.
Will they be able to find your channel?
Yeah, it brings up my channel. If you do a search for me, it does actually bring me up with a list of whatever I've published most recently. That's the first thing at the top. So I do actually have some level of publicity. If people search for me by name, you will find me.
And then they could eventually get on here?
Yeah, they'll find their way here.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that's my little contribution.
Thank you, Neil. So on today's live show, I'm going to be promoting 3 channels. First one's going to be Authentic Intent. Do you guys watch Josh?
Who's that?
Well, there you go, you see? So I'll stick a link straight away in the live stream, so there's at least something there when they arrive. Immediately list. Let's just get it.
I never wanted to say it, but I think Flat Earth needs some kind of self-promotion organization to it.
But like I'm doing.
because they're not going to.
Yeah, that's what Nate is doing right now.
Right, but I mean, a little bit more organization to it so that other people are doing it as well.
Right.
That's what he's
Well,
trying
that's
to
what
do,
I'm trying to achieve. Yeah. It sounds like you're stating the obvious, but yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Encourage that type of behaviour, that mentality. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. And yeah, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm doing it, so hopefully it has a positive effect on me. I'm not, obviously, it's not the only motivation. I want to see these other people grow as well, but I'm hoping it'll be paid forward, and then then it won't directly affect me, but hopefully as a brush-on effect, or however you describe it, it'll affect me. And the trolls in the comments have immediately picked up on this. They're like, "You're only doing this because you want to grow your channel." I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
Of course.
And how does that work? Well, it works when I get shouted out. Well, that means I can shout out people with lesser channels that haven't got as many subscribers, and therefore there's a wider audience that I've got that I can push towards them if I can't encourage others to do that for me. And hopefully by me doing it, I lead by example and people will actually do it. Anyway, I'm just going to play a little bit. He's playing music, I bet not. Oh no, he's playing Flat Earth Man. Let's see if I can get to a bit where he's actually talking.
Mask zone. So if you can get a breath of fresh air in this area, I've just deemed it a sovereign area. I put the holy water and everything over it. So if you want to take your mask off in this area, you can do it. We're outside. It's not a law.
Classic. You get the general gist. He's ace. You got to check him out. Anyway, I'll put a link to him in the live stream chat. So hopefully when we actually start live, people will see, and I'll remind them to go and see that. But yeah, that's Authentic Intent. So be here or be sphere. Check him out. Subscribe today. Have you guys heard of Bible Literalist?
Yes, Paula is ace.
Paula is indeed ace. So let's just see. What shall I grab? Her most recent live stream, maybe. Stick a share link to that. I'm actually labelling these in the live chat. I'm sure I can explain that they're 3 different links to the people who come along that are members already in this members chat. Right, so there's Paula. She's also a ballbuster. That's her channel. Check her out. Be here or be sphere. Paula is ace. She obviously has a Bible-centric channel, if you want to call it that, but she's also a flat earther and extremely educated on the subject. And she's a historian. There's no other way to describe her. And she's very good at it. So check her out. I'm not a Christian. I wouldn't call myself a Christian, but I still watch her channel. It's full of informative stuff. So definitely check her out. Doesn't necessarily have to be the case that you're a Christian to go and watch Paula's channel. Far from it, in fact. But yeah, so it's just useful, interesting information from Paula on the Bible Literalist channel. So that's Paula's channel. Link is going to be in the live stream again for when people come along when we're live. Although this is advertised, so we might get a few members before we start if they know what time. Last but by no means least, today's promotion will be for Flatsoid FE, woohoo! Who is of course a panel member and is ace. So he deserves also to have more than 500 odd subscribers. So he's currently in a back and forth with Craig Fight the Flat Earth. Hello. Was that on the video, or was that you actually saying that?
Yeah.
This is Flatsoid FE and his channel. And his most recent video, What is a Closed System? So I've put a link to that as well. So he details, I had a bit of an issue with this guy and what he said, Flatsoid. Did you read my comment?
Yeah, I didn't want to really take him up on isothermic systems, isolated systems yet, because he couldn't get closed systems. If you're not going to be able to closed system, how are you going to understand the isolated system?
Yeah, I mean, my comment wasn't directed at Craig. It was directed at the guy in the video, really. He's saying an isolated system is represented by a thermos. No, it isn't.
Yeah, they just use it as in theoretical, you can call it. But
yeah,
really
a way of explaining
as
that.
Isolated system.
Yeah, it's saying, look, he isn't in an ideal circumstance. He doesn't disclaim any of this, but I get what you're saying. He could say, in an ideal circumstance on paper, a thermos would be considered as an isolated system. It's like, no thermos exists that you can put a hot drink in and come back 10 years later and it's still hot. It's not an isolated system. It's preposterous. But on a blackboard, yeah, fine, whatever. Anyway, but why are we even discussing this? So this is Flatsoid's channel. This is Flatsoid FE. Go and subscribe.
So-
Put a link. He's ace.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
So Nathan, what you're doing is there was a famous commercial. I think it was in the 80s. I think it was a hair product. And they had like in one screen the person, and the main thing is, and they told two friends, and they told two friends, and so on, and so on, and so on. And then pretty soon the whole screen is filled up with little pictures of that person. You familiar with that commercial?
I'm not, but I get the concept.
Yeah, it was a very famous commercial. So what you're doing is, you got to tell people, and they'll tell people, and that's how growth will happen. Because you're not getting any help from freaking YouTube, that's for sure.
Sure, but Flatsoid can get help from me. And that's the point, really, isn't it?
And then he'll tell two friends, and so on, and so on, and so on.
Exactly. So rather than twerking for subs and asking people to shout me out, which was totally unsuccessful, one guy, Trade Your, shout out to you, my friend. He did something. But that was about it. And yeah, as much as I'm very, very grateful, and as a direct consequence, this is why. So Trade Your shouted me out, did a little stream, talked about the show, and I shouted him out and put a link to his video. So it's sort of, this is symbiotic, isn't it? So it's like, well, why does it have to be that way around? Why does it have to be that I have to go and approach them and say, can you shout me out? Why not I just shout people out, and hopefully, one day they'll return the favour, or someone will see it as a good idea. It's content at the end of the day. If you're looking as a YouTuber to make content, it's content that I can trim out, put it out as an individual advert for those people, and I'm sure they'd be extremely grateful for that. But for me, it's an extra video, right? So it's win-win.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not going to shout each other out, how are we going to get the names out there?
Yeah. Many people in the comments were like, yeah, Math Bowland woke me up too. And you're like, yeah, good. Because there's going to be people out there who've never heard of him. A few people went and were like, there's not a lot of flat earth content on there. And I'm like, Math is all flat earth. But yes, he does talk about other subjects. And like most recently, he's re-released some of his flat earth content. And I'm sure he'll carry on talking about the subject. So, he's current affairs, generally speaking. But he's OG flat earth. So he's worth recommending.
I think you start to have a problem when when they start accusing people of being shills. I think that's the only problem.
Spoken like a true shill. Very suspicious of you, Neil.
Because he can go on a little rant. Boy there.
But we're not here to promote people's failings.
But he's a great flat earther.
Everyone's got their issues, right? People pick flaw all day with anybody. That's not the purpose here. So yeah, those are the people I'm going to shout on the live show, so try and think of some nice things to say about them. Authentic Intent, Bible Literalist, and Flatsoid FE.
Well, now, when you start calling people shills, you're divining their intent, right?
Yeah, appeal to motivation fallacy. Or appeal to motive.
I never did get that.
It's irrelevant of the argument. Totally irrelevant.
Yeah, the argument stands.
No matter what their motivation is. Okay, let's say I prove Rumpus is paid by MI6 to come here and infiltrate Flat Earth and create disinformation and chaos. Does that win me my argument? No.
No, that's what I mean. The argument is still going to stand. It's got legs.
Yeah.
We have a black swan. We have gas pressure out of containment. We have housekeeping questions that cannot be answered and have not been answered.
Yeah. And so it shall remain. We're not living on a sphere. Therefore, anybody who comes here that wants to oppose that is going to find it difficult. And that's what gets shown.
Good morning.
Good morning. As for exposing people's employers, motivation, I don't care. I don't care what motivates people to believe they're on a spinning sphere flying through a sky vacuum. I don't care. You want to believe it because you're paid to believe it? I don't care.
I had
I
somebody
just
in the
realized
comments.
it really is good morning for you. What is it, 5:45, 10?
Yeah, I wake
Are
up
you?
at 5. Yeah, I wake up 5 every day. Get my day going.
Now that's dedication to the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel.
No, that's dedication to living in California and having a farm.
But you still tuned in, though.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I'm here because if it was a different time zone, I may not be able to get in every day. Yeah, I was just outside on my porch. The moon looks awesome. So I was taking some E900 pics and videos.
Speaking of the moon, they were talking about it on 24/7 Discord early this morning. How it's terra firma and it has craters, and some guy was on the channel saying that his grandmother told him in the 50s they shot up rockets and hit the moon, and that's why there's craters, and the Milky Way was caused by another rocket breaking the dome. I finally jumped in. I'm like, hold on a second. You just have no proof that this is even tangible.
I saw it on the telly.
They shot up rockets.
Saw it on the telly and read it on the newspaper. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Nathan. Hey, everyone.
When I look at it, it looks like I can see through it. But still, the fact remains is we've not been there. We've not handled it to see. We don't know if it's anything we can touch. As far as we see from here, it's still a light in the sky.
Well, it's got to be real. They got petrified wood from it.
That's part of a Math Powerland skit, actually. So he's talking about people who got the idea that they've visited the moon. And if you think about the timing, a lot of people didn't have a television. So the majority of them heard it on the radio. And the way he puts it into the skit, like, just disbelief that people are describing how people have landed on the moon because they heard it on the radio. It's just funny.
Wow, that's imagination.
Nixon said that the American people wouldn't believe they heard it on the news.
Again, John, I interrupted you both times. I'm really sorry. Hey, Sleeping Warrior.
Hey.
Nixon said that the American people wouldn't believe it unless they heard it on the 8 o'clock news.
Yeah, and it don't matter which format.
That's right.
8 o'clock news on the TV, 8 o'clock news on the radio. Who cares, right? As long as they hear it on the news or read it in the paper, they'll believe it.
Anthony.
What's new, Sleeping Warrior?
We did hear him say, hey, hey, hey.
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
So I guess you guys have been paying attention to the local pandemic nonsense, or have you guys switched off from it?
Absolutely.
I've switched off from it.
So what I've been doing, for me personally, it's like, obviously Flat Earth's like my baby, my topic, but obviously this pandemic thing's a big thing for me because our human rights are being violated and I don't agree with it. So I've obviously been fighting the battles in terms of human rights and police and protesting and all that stuff because I believe that we've all got the freedom to express our opinions and assemble freely without government interference, and the government are clearly interfering with it, and I don't agree with it. So I've been focusing on that at the moment recently because it's such an important topic for me that we can all agree, that we can all disagree with each other and express our opinions without fear of curtailment from the state. But by being out of the topic for a while, I've been speaking to different people about different perspectives relative to coronavirus and all that. And what I've noticed is that everybody that I've been speaking to not only knows that they're not on a spinning ball, most of them have even heard of Nathan Oakley. So even though not being in the topic has kind of broadened my horizons, as it were, it's actually made me realize that there's a shitload of people out there that know they're not on a spinning ball, but we're not tapped into that market in any way because of the way it is. It's just segregation and whatever, divide, whatever. But loads of people realize that we're not on a ball that are in the topic of coronavirus, that are prepared to speak up, fight about it, and do all the protesting stuff. But they know we're not on a ball. but they won't come on like the topic like and openly talk about it because it's obviously societally it's not considered to be a cool thing. But most people I speak to know Nathan, and they know that we're not on a ball. And I just think that it's really cool that everybody knows this, because not only are we not alone, we've got way more people that support us indirectly than what you'd ever imagine. It's not a little niche area on the internet. Everyone knows. Most people know we're not on a ball.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, that's always. Yeah, like I was telling Nathan earlier, every day I'm seeing more and more South African flat earthers everywhere, and a lot of them have heard it from Nathan Oakley. So
Wow.
You're definitely getting your word out there.
Yeah, I'd agree. It is working. And I'd say that the fact that they keep away indicates the societal pressure on people not to conform, not to talk about it. But the fact that I realise that people realise that it's not a ball, but are silent, then that tells me that there's way more people out there. It's just incredible how we're pigeonholed into a little corner of the internet. That's the way we describe it, a little corner of the internet that no one cares about. No. Everyone I talk to that's got an issue on COVID, that will speak out about COVID, knows that we're not on a ball. Doesn't necessarily mean that they do know what we do live on, but it does mean that they know what we don't live on, which is the only thing that we really need to get across, the message we need to get across, because it's absolutely true.
Very cool. Thanks for coming on and telling us. Obviously, I realised you preempted this with a phone call earlier this morning that we were on. But yeah, thank you for coming on and actually sharing it with us. Hey, Adam.
Afternoon, guys. You all right?
Yeah. Hey, Adam.
Hiya, mate. How you doing,
Hey,
Brian? Neil?
how are you?
Not bad. Not too bad. We had 10th on an Iron Realm Wednesday show last night. That was nice to have you there, mate.
Oh, thanks. You surprised me. I'm calling Adam. Next thing I know, hey, you're live. I go, I'm live.
Oh no, well, it might get shared. If you're happy, we'll share it with maybe the Patreons.
Oh, I don't care. I mean, that was just it was fine.
Yeah, it was a good chat.
No, it was a joy.
I enjoyed it.
Damn, I missed it.
Have to become a Patreon of Iron Realm, and you'll be able to get access to it.
Well, I might have another baby on the way, so I won't really be able to afford it now.
Oh,
Hey, congrats.
another 20 years, then, pal. That is.
Longer if it's a girl.
Oh,
I
so.
already have a boy and a girl, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Stepped away for a second. Did I miss some news?
They're funny, man.
No, I'm serious. What did you just say?
Flatzoid's going to have another child.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, Flatzoid.
Us
Yeah,
Indians.
hopefully.
Congratulations, Flatsoid. I couldn't remember what to say. I was like, there's something I should say at this point. I couldn't remember it.
Well, it'll be
I realised. Sorry, Tam.
No, go ahead.
Brian's picture's just come up, and I've always seen it because he looks like Tyson Fury in the picture. But I just noticed you got a Black Swan T-shirt on, haven't you?
Yeah, that's why I'm showing the whole picture.
Yeah. God, I'm slow.
Yeah, that's the point of it. Yeah. The Black Swan T-shirt.
You reckon he looks like Tyson Fury?
Well, when it first came up, I was looking at it, and you know, your brain just classifies. I thought, oh, that's Tyson Fury, and then I realised it's Brian in his garden.
I'm a good 9 inches shorter than Tyson Fury.
Yeah. I don't think I'd argue with you, Brian, looking at that picture still, mate. It's
You can't go by looks, Adam.
Tyson Fury. Does that mean that Brian's a whippersnapper, or does it mean that Tyson Fury's huge?
Tyson
He's
Fury's
6'9".
huge.
I'm 6 foot.
Tyson Fury's 6'9".
Here's what pisses me off about these masks. I just went into Dunkin' Donuts and I practically had to shout, "Small coffee, cream, 2 sugars." What? Large coffee? 2 coffees? 1 freaking coffee, cream, 2 sugars.
It's an absolute
got the
outrage,
masks
Neil.
in their ears.
It's an absolute outrage. What is the world coming to?
I'm just glad he was on mute when he had to do that.
We should have a riot just
Oh,
for that.
I was on
I
mute.
mean, having to speak louder. I mean, what's the world come to? It's just disgraceful.
No, Nathan, it's not speaking louder. You got to shout. They got a big freaking plexiglass in front of you. She's got a mask on. I can't hear her. I got to wear a mask. She can't hear me.
I'm with you, man. I'm organising the committee to get this all done and dusted, and we're going to be on the streets about this, Neil.
Like having a
with you.
conversation through double glazing to some.
We'll just start walking around with those siren horns everywhere. Be much easier to talk.
We
What,
should have listened
bullhorn
to
order?
Brian way back when he said burn the mask. I remember that, Brian.
Yeah, that's the only way around it.
What, this law that's now well and truly established for 7 or 8 months now? You think that burning a mask will do something about that, do you?
Well, if everyone burns them, then no one will have them to put them on.
Oh, what an idealistic fellow you are.
Just don't buy any new ones then.
I walked into play golf 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I'm over there paying for my green fee, and the guy says, "Oh, you need a mask." And I go, "Well, I don't consent." And he grabs a mask from behind the counter and hands it to me. So I just grab it. I go, "Thanks." I paid and walked out and never put it on.
Exactly. I have to stand outside as a chemist. I keep going to. There's a couple of good looking girls working there, so that's part of the reason I go in there. But I go there, and when I go in there, they go, "Oh, you don't have a mask," and I go, "No, you have to stand outside the door." Okay, so I stand outside the door. Like, I don't mind. If someone asks me, "Have you got a mask?" I say, "No, don't wear them." I say, "If you want me to leave, I leave. No worries. Don't cause any bother. I'm not wearing any mask."
Yeah, I'm not wearing a mask either.
Big up to everybody who don't.
Say again? Say again,
I
Ryan?
said big ups to everybody who doesn't.
I have to wear a mask, otherwise I'm going to die. Spray fumes are dangerous.
Yeah, you're in a paint
We know
booth. With your carbon filter.
At least he's got dangerous fumes that actually exist, though, that will actually compromise his health.
Right, you're getting dangerously
Yeah, that
close
makes
to getting me a community guideline strike now, so...
Oh, are we?
Yeah, you are, yeah. Not quite, but dangerously close.
Hang on, Nathan. Let me get a mask for your show.
Thanks, you do that.
I'm getting a full out guerrilla warfare mask and going into stores.
You do that, that's excellent.
Yeah,
What we'll do
I'll
then is
wear
we'll
one
apply
for
this.
your show. That's it.
Say again?
We'll apply the censorship guidelines and stop talking about it. Otherwise, we don't want to violate those and get Nathan into shit. So let's just pretend that everything's okay and we're all happy with our masks. Kumbaya.
I'm not wearing a mask, I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about,
well,
but yes,
it
let's
won't be for
all
me.
kumbaya. Hands around the continent and all that.
Well, to change topic, right, guys, do you know that there's people out there that believe we live on a spinning space pair?
Yeah, majority of the rest of the world, Adam.
I have heard that. I didn't believe it was actually true until I come across them in this topic, and now they're everywhere. I don't know how they're not getting censored by this censorship. It's ridiculous. I thought they stopped all the facts, the false facts being passed around like what they believe.
Yeah, they put them in the education system and all the movies and all the propaganda they can get their hands on.
They do?
They do.
Yeah,
I've got to
they
say,
even.
Nathan, your Coriolis thing with Rumpus, like what was it, the greatest toe tag ever? It was brilliant last night. I was listening to it as I go to sleep. Brilliant.
I did chuckle quite a bit towards it. I was proper giggling. You spastic was the I was properly rolling in my chair.
I didn't used to use that. That's because of Anthony.
Yeah.
He was like, he started using it. I'm like, is that offensive? He was certainly offensive in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then you look it up and it's just a derogatory insult, right? So it's like, just an insult.
Yeah, and it also means incompetent. Now, given that Rumpus claims to be some kind of oracle with physics and he doesn't understand how pendulums work, to be fair, I felt sorry for him because he said that they rotate, right? You were saying backwards and forth, and he said that they rotate in like an ellipse. What he meant to say was they oscillate as they do the back and forth. That's what he really meant to say, but he didn't say it, and Nathan just battered him because of it. It was so funny.
Anthony, he said figure 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, he means to say oscillate. I know what he meant to say, but he just didn't have that word at that moment, and Nathan battered him because of it, and it was just brilliant.
Why do these people that claim to know physics so well actually show they know nothing?
Because they would rather confuse the topic by arguing about a nonsense point than accept that there's a contradiction in terms. Like you see it with did you watch Flatsoid against Fight the Flat Earth recently? He got Fight the Flat Earth to admit that he thinks that we live in a closed system because he knows that in an open system there would be no gas pressure, right? So he's got to argue that a closed system is what we actually live in, but that system allows small amounts of matter to escape. Well, that's a direct contradiction, but he needs small amounts of matter to escape because he needs rockets to be able to leave, and he needs the tons of helium and hydrogen that are lost to space every day. He needs those things to exist, right? So he has to argue that a closed system is actually open in complete contradiction to the definitions of what closed and open systems actually are.
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected. And if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. One last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by 10th Man, Chocolate Saiyan, Brian's Logic, Flatsoid, Neil, Sleeping Warrior, Adam Meakin, and a whole bunch of people on Discord, so welcome one and all.
Hello, hello.
Hey, everyone.
Afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon, good morning. Hello, hello.
Good day.
Hello.
Bring me along on this very flat earth.
I didn't understand that for the South African. Try that again. Or don't. I don't mind either way. We're going to do a few plugs. So before we go,
along. Welcome to a very...
You're doing phone jacker.
Mandela effect, that does.
It sounds like phone jacker, but with a South African accent. Hey, Owen. Right, before we get into lots of nonsense, I want to do some plugs. So, over the last week, I've been doing a few plugs for a few channels that I watch, in the hope that people will go and subscribe to them. So, in the live stream chat, the first link is to Authentic Intent. So, check him out. He does a lot of live streams out on location on current event topics. He also covers Flat Earth. He talks about those subjects with the public in a very, very approachable and nice way. So check out Authentic Intent channel. His is the first link in the live stream video. I'll also link these in any subsequent uploads. Flat Earth Debate, Uncut, and After Show, etc., etc. So you'll get links in the info box and in the comment section, and for the time being, the first link is to Authentic Intent. So go immediately, subscribe today to his channel. It is absolutely fantastic. Anyone want to add anything on Authentic Intent before I move on to the next person to plug?
Definitely worth it to watch.
Is that it?
He's what I like about him. He's got a very type of sense of humor to him with his videos.
Yeah,
Like a kind of carefree kind of guy.
He's a good guy. So let's move on. We've also got one of the ball busters, which is Bible Literalist. So check out Bible Literalist channel. You don't have to be a Christian to check out Paula's channel. She's a historian. I'd like to think of her as a historian. She's very, very well researched. Also, again, obviously a flat earther, and discusses it in her subjects when she's doing her videos. So another link to actually go and subscribe to today. Again, I'll put this in the info box below the video in the comments, and it's currently in the live stream as the second link down. So go and check out Bible Literalist channel today and subscribe. Please let these people know that I've sent you. So just leave a little comment saying Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Subscribed as your comment when you subscribe. Don't just put subbed. Don't just subscribe. Just let them know that you're being sent to intentionally subscribe to these people. So that's Bible Literalist channel. Definitely well deserving of more than 1,000+ subscribers, as is Flatsoid FE. Woohoo! So Flatsoid's one of our panel members. He's here pretty much daily, unless he's got something wrong with his thumb or he's inhaled a load of toxic nonsense. But nevertheless, he's currently in a back and forth with Fight the Flat Earth in regards to a debate that's been ongoing that they had on his show, on Fight the Flat Earth show. So check it out today. I think it's probably mirrored on Flatsoid's channel also. And he is third link in today's live stream. So members only, if you can see that. You can still see the live stream if you're not a member, but you can click on the link and go and subscribe immediately in either event. So go and check out Flatsoid. Obviously deserving of more than 528 subscribers. So again, leave him a little comment. Just say Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, because he's not going to know. He's not obviously on the panel right now, so how could he possibly know that he's going to have subscribers coming from this channel to his, unless you told him. So I'll just run through all those again. So we've got Authentic Intent, top link in the live stream chat, followed by Bible Literalist and Flatsoid FE. So go and subscribe to all of those channels. Obviously come back if you're watching live. But yeah, check them out, subscribe, and leave them a comment letting them know that I sent you. That would be really, really appreciated. So on with today's housekeeping. Unless there's anything anyone wants to add on Bible Literalist, Authentic Intent, or Flatsoid.
I got something to add on Flatsoid. Spider bites, do not keep him away from the show.
Well, in joke, Flatsoid was afflicted by a spider bite and swelled to the size of a melon. It wasn't a pleasant sight when I saw the photo. It's not something you can unsee. Should we get on with housekeeping?
I was going to say, since that bite, his content on the web has gotten better.
Boom, boom.
The web, good one.
I'd just quickly give Paula a shout out, Bible Literalist. I really enjoy her channel. It's something to refer. You don't see a lot of good quality, and you see lots of alternative views of biblical stuff, but it's good to have that solid reference point that I find quite refreshing to go back and listen to a lot of her stuff, especially on a Sunday. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, big shout out to Paula. I do like her stuff, and as Nathan said to me, excellently researched. It's all
Seconded.
Yeah, it's one of those
she's
things
very
I'm content.
thorough.
I sit and watch with the family in the confidence that I don't need to ever interject with what Paula's saying and say, well, actually, that might not be true, because there's nothing that she covers that isn't impeccably researched. So literally on a Sunday, probably same as you, Adam, I don't often chat in the comments. I just leave it running while normally we're cooking dinner and stuff, but the whole family sit around and watch Paula's show.
I'm generally quiet in chat if I'm listening. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and if you, I can't really concentrate if I'm typing. So when I'm listening, and you have to really engage with what she's saying. So.
Right. I like to get in her chat too sometimes if I pick up that she's live, because I don't know, she's very inspiring and insightful. She knows so much. It's creepy almost, but it's good.
I just can't believe she's got such a little subscribers. I thought she'd have a lot more by now.
She should, and that's exactly why I'm doing this. Same goes for Authentic Intent. So Authentic Intent, I do participate in his live stream because he's a bit like Arwin in the respect that he's very interactive, but he's out in the field interactive, as in face-to-face with people. although he doesn't necessarily put their faces on camera, he just sets up his camera, starts his live stream, chats to the chat, and then as people float on by, he'll just talk to them about whatever, often flat Earth, often current events, but he's a very approachable guy. So yeah, I mean, all of these characters, you couldn't get any more different between Authentic Intent and Flatzoid. They're polar ends of the spectrum in terms of what they do, but yet on the same exact subject, right? They're both covering the same stuff. But yeah, you couldn't recommend 3 more different people in terms of Flatzoid, Josh, and Paula. You couldn't get any more different. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's do some.
all 3 of them great.
Say again?
Subscribe today.
Subscribe today, indeed, and let them know I sent you. Nathan Oakley 1980 sent us. Let's do some housekeeping 8 minutes into the live show. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge? Horizon, formerly known as Earth curve.
Not from El Segundo.
Horizon's an optical phenomena. There's no geometric edge. You couldn't ascertain or believe that there ever was one unless you could demonstrate it. And at no point would you ever know that there was one because it's always optical.
Sorry, so are they stating that this angular resolution limit would be this actual curve?
The angular resolution limit thing is quite... I like although it was mine, it just came up naturally with the hair. I can't remember who it was we were talking to at the time, but it's like, why doesn't a hair disappear at 8 inches per mile, or per mile squared?
That was Chaiki.
Chaiki, right. So it's like, okay, so you say something will disappear at 8 inches at a mile. Well, okay. If that's the case, a hair will only disappear at 8 miles. A mile, rather. An 8-inch hair. Get it right in the end. Well, if that's the case, why would it disappear sooner? And according to their maths, it wouldn't disappear sooner. It would disappear behind Earth curve when it got too small to see. But in the case of a hair, you're not only limited by the deck. It's narrow as well, so its angular resolution limit's affected far sooner than a brick that's quite wide, that's only going to be limited by the angle against the deck, being the most limited angle, causing the diffraction limit to arrive sooner. Well, hair, it could disappear at 6 feet. That ain't a mile. Not accounted for on Earth curve maths, that hair's only going to be disappearing when it gets to the horizon they reify as a physical sphere edge obstruction. Then they'll calculate mathematically with it being an 8-inch hair at 1,000,000 miles. Doesn't matter how far or near you are to the 8-inch hair, it's always 8 inches in their maths. Doesn't have any angular size. Shout out to Mario Knows It's Flat. So shout out to Wakey Wakey. He's moving over to Library TV. Yeah, I did see his update. He's had a couple of community guideline strikes for videos on his coverage of current affairs. Current affairs is being used as code now, it seems. Anyway, current affairs. Yeah, he's covering current affairs, and that's not loud. So yeah. Shout out to Wakey Wakey. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No, if there was axial rotation, Nathan, planes would get faster when they fly west, and they would get slower in time when they fly east. But we don't see that yet. We're expected to believe that a Foucault's pendulum proves that the Earth turns underneath it whilst it's spinning. It's complete nonsense.
Sorry, we were actually, me and Solar were in a debate until like almost 11 last night with Zanik on this exact topic. He was trying to say his hypothesis is scientific with Earth spin. It was the most hilarious thing. I couldn't.
People have no idea what science is. Can you turn your line up a little bit, Anthony? I can't take individual control of you in the Hangout, but if you can turn your output line up a bit, that'd be very handy.
Wouldn't axial rotation involve the 15-degree deviation?
Yeah, 15 degrees drift. That's things moving apart at 15 degrees an hour as Earth rotates underneath. So that would involve Earth rotating underneath.
Would that mean you need more than one reference frame?
Yeah, 2. One rotating underneath the other.
So cause and effect, why don't we see 15-degree drift?
Because you and your reference frames have been ruined. There are no separate reference frames. There is no Earth turning underneath. We don't observe Coriolis deflection. Nothing flies away from us at 1,000 miles an hour on the equator. That would be 15 degrees.
That's
So when we're
sloppy way.
So when we're talking to a baller and we say, okay, if you say Earth is spinning at the different rates, at the different latitudes, then anything unattached to the Earth will seem to deviate and drift. So let's throw this ball up in the air and see how much it drifts away from us because we're turning underneath it, and it comes right back down in the palm of your hands. So much for your Earth spinning, right?
Right.
Have you ever seen those videos of those guys firing bullets up in the desert? They fire a couple of bullets up with some kind of assault rifle. They get it as straight up as they can get it, and they go ping, 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 fire 3 bullets up, and then about 2 minutes later, you can hear them come back down and land. In the time that the Earth should have moved it like in that distance, if it was really traveling the way that they, or if the Earth was really turning the way they say, then bullets would never come back anywhere near them because the Earth would have rotated over the distance that they require in that time, such a distance, and you'd never get the bullets back. But they'd pretty much fall back to where they were fired from.
Yeah, I think the one bullet was like 20 meters from him or something, and that's because of the wind. And that was because of the wind or something.
I saw that. Be ready to laugh. There are a couple of characters that are hiding under the car and the table and everything.
Yeah, at that point, normally in the discussion, we have a globe Earth tell us the justification for why the bullet doesn't drift when they claim Earth turns underneath. Now, at the moment, they don't seem to like us pointing out that their claim of Coriolis drift, they'd much prefer it was just left called that, Coriolis drift, or 15 degrees an hour deviation. Us calling it what it really is, the claim that Earth turns underneath stuff attached and then detached from the spinning reference frame, that would be to observe Coriolis deflection. Now, they don't like us detailing it in that way. What, Earth turning underneath things not attached? Apparently that's a sloppy description. Other than it being precisely what's required for Coriolis effect to actually happen. They don't like it because it's overtly stating that we should be turning underneath stuff, and we're not.
Agree.
Well, what they also will do is say, like a cum virus, is they'll say conservation of momentum. The problem is that it's possible that explanation could work if the Earth was moving linearly in a straight line. Well, it's not, according to their model. It's moving angularly in a circular path. And I don't, claim to understand all the physics behind it. If you have just a basic understanding of those momentums, if you're on a moving platform and you throw a ball straight up, the ball will tend to come back down into your hand where it left. However, if you do that same thing on a spinning platform, it won't come back down into your hand. You can do this a couple of ways. If you're on a merry-go-round and you're sitting on the edge with your feet dangling off the side, you can throw a ball either straight out and it won't continue to spin around with you, or you can throw a ball straight up and it also won't continue to spin with you. So the whole argument of conservation of momentum on a spinning ball based on just basic physics is out the window immediately.
And that explanation would be a justification for having no 15 degrees an hour drift. If it's conserving momentum as they claim, then it's not Coriolis. Because Coriolis is only ever observed by you on a spinning platform, and it's an observation of stuff that's not spinning with you. So your observation of it, in your example with a ball thrown off a merry-go-round, it would be your observation of it seeming to curve away from you as you spin away from it. But for that effect to happen, Coriolis deflection, what they claim proves Earth spinning, 15 degrees of drift as Earth turns underneath stuff not attached, like your ball isn't attached to the merry-go-round. Well, to have Coriolis, you've got to be observing stuff seem to drift. So as soon as you detail what's happening with the ball, conserving momentum, nothing to do with Coriolis deflection, because that's you observing it seem to drift. So I don't care from now on when they start justifying how it doesn't drift and why it doesn't drift, because they need it to drift. They need Earth to turn underneath it, and it doesn't.
Hold on a second. If I'm on one of them moving, like in the airport, one of them moving sidewalks, and I throw a ball straight up in the air, it's going to come back down in my hand? I don't think so.
No, but they claim Earth wouldn't have the same effect. So they claim that you throw a ball up in the air, and because it's left a non-inertial spinning reference frame, you'd see it drift. Like a football in Neil deGrasse Tyson's example, that was claimed to drift because it's claimed Earth was turning underneath it. So they claim Earth turns underneath footballs. We also get told here in the debate that snipers have to concern themselves because Earth's turning underneath their bullets. Well, that is backed by Foucault's claim that Earth is turning underneath a pendulum. Pendulum swings back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's claimed to seem to drift and knock dominoes over because it's claimed Earth turns underneath. So they very much, on the globe side, claim Earth turns underneath stuff not attached at 15 degrees an hour. But that means Earth's turning underneath stuff not attached at 15 degrees an hour. And that would shorten flight times. That would mean a ball would fly away from you 1,000 miles an hour on the equator. It would mean that a drone that's hovering would appear to drift away from you at 1,000 miles an hour. And that doesn't happen.
But when they say conservation of momentum, they could never have experienced Coriolis in the first place.
Precisely. Quick shout out to Guns of Navarone, our MP, who's joined as a penguin and then immediately upgraded to a hyena. So thank you very much indeed for joining as a channel member.
Well, then I think we got to start pushing it that it's an optical effect.
Yeah, it is an optical effect.
That's literally what it's defined as.
I know,
and
but they
even
don't seem.
as an illusion, according to their own narrative.
Well, it is an optical illusion.
It is
But
an
it
optical
doesn't
illusion.
really curve.
Yeah, the optical illusion is that if you're on a roundabout and the roundabout has got, say, some trees hanging over the top of it, you know, kids' playground, tree growing over the top of a roundabout, seems reasonable, right? You come back after the lockdown and all the trees have overgrown and they're hanging over the top of the roundabout. Now you get on the roundabout on the other side where it's not covered by trees and you start spinning. And what you see is, oh no, the tree is coming towards me. Now trees don't get up out of the ground and come towards you, do they? But it looks like it when you're spinning towards it. It looks like the tree's coming towards you. That's Coriolis effect. It looking like a tree's coming towards you. Really, you're spinning towards it. And that's what's claimed to happen on Earth. So stuff that's not attached would seem to drift away or seem to drift towards you as you spin towards it, rotating underneath it. That's what Coriolis is. Now, as soon as we get into the nitty-gritty of us declaring what they're supposed to be claiming, that's Earth turning underneath at 15 degrees an hour, they go, no, 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 no. That's a sloppy description. It's not a sloppy description, it's just Coriolis effect. And it's claimed to happen on Earth, it just doesn't.
Their claim of the conservation of angular momentum wouldn't work even if it was linear momentum, because gas will not attach itself to a moving object.
Correct, but it wouldn't give you drift either.
I tell you what's an interesting concept. Not saying this is true, but you know when you're describing something that looks like it's coming towards you, then moving away from you, coming towards you, then moving away from you. Imagine, you know, like when they talk about Mercury and Venus in retrograde, they have apparent retrograde motion. Well, if you were on a rotating something or orbiting something or whatever, you would see all the planets appear to do retrograde motion, but you don't see all the planets do it. You only see those two. But you could interpret apparent retrograde motion as Coriolis force or effect. Not saying it is, but that would be the phenomena that you would have to see relative to other things in the environment that we live in, but we don't see it.
Not exactly. What you're describing is two different orbital motions described in their model that would give you a waltzer-like effect, right? With two different rotational motions happening at once, and that would manifest in this retrograde motion that you only see over a course of days, you appreciate. It's not like you're watching this thing whirl around in the sky. But ultimately speaking, you achieve Coriolis effect with their claim and the sun. So us turning under the sun causes the sun to appear to move when it's in reality us turning around on an axis. Well, that's Coriolis deviation. The sun is exhibiting, according to them, a 15 degrees an hour drift as we turn underneath the sun. That's what they're claiming. Well, that's Coriolis deflection. That's us on a separate non-inertial spinning reference frame turning underneath stuff like balls and bullets and pendulums and gyroscopes. Yeah, they're claimed to have Earth turning underneath them to cause them to twist in their cages if they're gyros, or knock dominoes over if they're pendulums. Obviously, they're not going to whiz off, they're attached to the building. But the fact they claim Earth turns underneath is what's giving you their 15 degrees an hour drift. That's what it is, Earth turning underneath. Now, does Earth turn underneath when you jump up and down? Or launch a drone and get it to hover? Or throw a ball in the air? Does your flight time get reduced when you travel west? No, it doesn't. Helicopters don't take off and land in a different country because Earth turned underneath them at 15 degrees an hour, as is precisely their claim. Quick shout out to Guns of Neverone again. It says, finally joined, procrastination cured. Thank you very much for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, Nathan, I think they argue for Earth turning, and then they have to argue against Earth turning because there's no evidence for it.
Exactly.
Yep.
They claim Earth turns underneath. It doesn't.
That was the bit. Cover that bit. It's not that they argue against, they try to mitigate against it, and it's then when you get into the ridiculousness of the mitigation that they do fall apart. It's like you see where the rumpus stumbles. So if you take that bullet shooting into the air straight up, okay, so we don't observe rotation. So what they're trying to pretend is that bullet's flight path mathematically is it goes up, it's losing its speed till it gets to the top, the highest bit it gets where it's doing 0, and then it falls down. Now that makes sense to us, it does, because that's what happened. But in their world, it does exactly that, whilst also at the same time simultaneously moving 1,000 miles an hour all the time to keep in lockstep with the Earth that's rotating underneath. So you see all this loss of momentum, yet none in the lateral to ensure lockstep. That's what they have to profess.
No, they don't. Stop. No, they don't.
Okay.
No, they have to profess that Earth turns underneath the bullet to give them Coriolis deflection from the ground, an optical observed effect of the bullet seeming to drift away when it's just going up and down because you're turning underneath it. So while you're saying, well, they've got to claim it moves in lockstep. No, they don't. Lockstep movement of Earth and atmosphere in violation of the first law of thermodynamics would give you no discernible difference between a stationary plane with a bullet going up and down and a turning, rotating platform with the atmosphere in lockstep moving the bullet along with the Earth. Then there's no drift. There's no 15 degrees an hour deviation. The two are supposed to deviate from each other, not move together. 15 degrees an hour drift, not 15 degrees an hour of lockstep movement, because then there's no 15 degrees of anything.
Yeah, it's like the trampoline, the infamous tractor towing the trampoline and the guy's bouncing up and down on it. Well, he's doing that in a straight line, so that basically the tractor's you can argue that it's not accelerating because it's maintaining a constant speed and it's following a straight path. So it's like a geodesic path, it's straight. Stick that same trampoline guy on the roundabout and then put the tractor follow. Like, obviously, the guy's going to bounce off the trampoline and he's going to end up in the dirt because the trampoline has moved away from the path that it was previously on. And that will be following a curved path, which is what we're told we're on. So when the trampoline is being pulled by the tractor in a straight line, that's really a false equivalence because there is no curve there. There's no acceleration. To demonstrate the claim that they need, they should be putting that tractor on a trampoline on a roundabout, but then demonstrating that the guy can quite happily bounce up and down on it and stay in that position. And we all know that the trampoline's going to move away from it.
Stop. Just got to do the same thing I just did with Adam. No, their claim is that this dude drifts. Coriolis would be us observing the guy looking like he bounces out and moves in a curved path. So if this was a demonstration of drift, it would be the guy drifting apart from the moving platform, not staying with it. This isn't a demonstration that is in any way conforming with a claim that we would observe things drifting away at 15 degrees an hour because we're turning underneath them. Now, this is an example of something not moving underneath. No deflection. No 15 degrees an hour. No drift. So, Simon Dan and Craig, who's got on this bandwagon, your claim is Earth turns underneath at 15 degrees an hour to cause deflection from the ground as you observe things not attached. That's Coriolis effect. This nonsense that shows no drift is pissing in the face of your claim. We have 15 degrees an hour of it.
That's what I'm saying. Put this tractor going round a roundabout and then see if the guy will stay not drifting, and he's going to end up in the curve. He's going to end up falling off it, isn't he? Because the thing's rotated underneath him whilst he's not moved, and that would be a correct example for their model. But that's not what happens real world. Real world, he bounces up and down. He stays where he. In other words, we're not moving.
Yeah.
No, guys,
this example,
what's going on is Simon Dan is trying to debunk the drift because he says it. Your reference frames have been ruined.
Yes.
Well, who has claims about reference frames?
Globus.
Not us.
Yeah. His example is to show a trampoline being pulled and say the guy doesn't curve his way out of it while you watch him on the trampoline. So from your vantage point on the trampoline platform that's moving with the tractor, it would look like the guy curves out the back of it as he's towed along. That would be him drifting apart from the reference frame you're still attached to. So you'd have to be on the tractor, sat on its roof, watching him bounce out of the trampoline's reference frame, looking like he's curving away from you. In reality, he's just gone up and down and the tractor's moved away underneath him. That would be analogous to the drift that we don't see on Earth. You don't jump up and down and the guy who still stood on the ground watch you seem to curve away from him because he's rotating underneath. That's what they need to show. But what they're showing is an example without drift. It's like, hello, you're supposed to have 15 degrees an hour of it. All these examples that show single reference frames are showing us that, the guy jumps up and down whilst towed, and it's absolutely no different to him jumping up and down when he's not towed. So you wouldn't be able to discern any difference whatsoever between an Earth that's moving with its atmosphere moving with it and a guy just jumping up and down. There's no difference then, so it proves precisely nothing. And you're supposed to claim 15 degrees an hour deviation. That'd be Earth turning under stuff not attached. Yeah? Not an example that's got absolutely no difference between a guy just bouncing without moving at all and a guy bouncing but not deviating at 15 degrees an hour as they keep getting behind. They're thick. Craig is the most recent to stick his stamp on this. Thick as you can get.
Well, I just had an epiphany about what you said a minute ago.
The trampoline video.
Hold on, Chris.
Sorry, Chris.
No, go ahead.
For me, the stupidest thing about the trampoline video is that it actually looks like somebody actually made it with CGI to prove the conservation of momentum. And it looks like that's what happened. It doesn't look like it's a proper video. And it looks like it was made by a baller to show the conservation of momentum. Which completely debunks their claim of a drift. It looks like that to me. It looks like it's CGI. Not that it matters.
No, yeah,
it looks like they made it.
It's trying to prove conservation of momentum. They're debunking the drift argument.
Exactly.
Right.
Go ahead, Chris.
It's not faked. Yeah. So let's be clear, right? Let's not say things that are sort of basic and understood. So it is real. And if you move at a constant rate, like someone said earlier, in a straight line, and you throw something up, it will come back down where it took off. That's fine. Where it doesn't make sense is two things: when there's acceleration and when there's angular momentum. So if there's angular momentum, say on a roundabout, the whole reason that people use roundabouts in these YouTube videos is because of the angular momentum, and that ball is not going to maintain the angular momentum. It will maintain the momentum where it left in a straight line, but you spin around the ball in a different momentum than the ball which was just in your hand. So the epiphany I had was when they say that Coriolis is maintaining conservation of momentum, it's the exact opposite. It's not maintaining the angular momentum that it had. If Correct. It did maintain angular momentum, you couldn't use the roundabout as an example because there would be no Coriolis effect.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why.
Are you sure that though?
If the tractor was towing that trampoline around a roundabout and then conservation of momentum worked, you would be able to bounce that guy up and down whilst going round on a curved trajectory, and he would maintain going round the curve with the trampoline. And obviously we know that that's not going to happen. He's going to end up in the dirt. He's going to fall off it, isn't he? Because it's curving underneath him whilst he does it. So really, the only way they could prove their point would be to get it on a roundabout, show the guy conserving angular momentum, or conservation of momentum.
No, that's not their point. So you're saying to show their point that we don't have 15 degrees an hour drift, they'd need a guy bouncing on a roundabout and not drifting. Well, that wouldn't prove Earth spins. So no, they don't need to show that.
You interrupted me before I got to my crescendo.
My bad.
They would need to have the guy being towed around the roundabout, bouncing up and down, and not ending up in the dirt. Now, we all know that he would end up in the dirt.
You're just not listening to me. No, if they show
Okay,
a guy on a roundabout jumping up and down on a trampoline that's in one of the sections, so one section on the roundabout's got a trampoline, the other 8 sections haven't, for the sake of argument. He bounces up and down and moves along with the rotating platform, rotating with him underneath. Well, then he's not drifting. That's not what they need to demonstrate. They need to show the guy bounce up and down on the roundabout, and then from another person on the roundabout's perspective, he'll end up in the dirt. And from the person who's still on the roundabout's perspective, he looked like he curved away from them, even though he just went up and down. Because that's what they claim Earth does. It just doesn't do that.
Okay, I stand corrected. You are correct. You're better. Yours was better than mine.
I still don't
Chris?
buy that. I still don't buy that straight.
Yeah.
If I'm going straight in a flatbed truck and I'm doing, let's say, 30 miles an hour, and I'm laying on my back and I throw a baseball straight up in the air, it's not coming back down to me.
Yeah, and that's what they claim Earth does. That's precisely what Coriolis is. You seeing the ball from the flatbed look like it curves away from you into the distance. In reality, you've just thrown it up, it's gone up, and then dropped down. But from your vantage point, it's curved away from you into the distance as you drove away from it. They claim that's what happens on Earth. A ball gets kicked on a football field and makes the field goal because Earth turned underneath it to cause an apparent deflection. That's what they claim. So you need to see the things actually drifting away from you, not justify why they move together. And that's precisely what they're doing. The idiots don't understand Coriolis.
Chris, how could you prove outside of that video of the trampoline, the fella jumping up and down on the trampoline with the tractor pulling it? How could you prove outside of that? What other proof have you got that if you're on a moving vehicle and you throw something up in the air or jump up in the air, that's not going to go out from underneath you? Or you're not going to go out from underneath the ball you throw up in the air? I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, but even if they did, let's say they achieved it. I've done this with Brian, Sleeping Warrior, and Adam, all on the same show. So let's say they achieved that, Brian. They managed to show on a moving train. They're doing it. It's on screen with this trampoline. Look, he's not drifting. Reference frame's ruined. He's not moving away from the moving reference frame underneath at 15 degrees an hour. What a win for flat Earth. Because they can't
Nathan,
demonstrate a lack of drift.
I'm speaking about the claim that it is a real thing. I haven't seen enough evidence that it is real, that would happen linearly.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be drift.
I'm not talking about their claim. I'm just talking about what Chris said concerning that. I'm in the same camp as Neil. I don't believe that if you're moving, sitting on the top of a car that's moving, that I throw a ball up in the air, it's going to come straight back down to where it was.
It wouldn't. And I'm saying that that's the effect they need Earth to have. They need you to throw a ball up in the air on Earth and have it whiz away from you 1,000 miles an hour on the equator like it would on your flatbed. You throw the ball in the air, and because you move away from it, it looks like it flies away from you in a curved path. Well, that's what a ball should do on Earth. You launch a ball into the air, and what do you know? Whatever rate you're supposed to be turning underneath it, it whizzes away from you at that speed. That's what's supposed to happen on a turning Earth. 15 degrees an hour of drift. That's things drifting away from you. And it never happens. So we get into the argument about, well, if they could just show a guy on a roundabout not drifting, they'd prove their point that we don't have 15 degrees an hour, as they claim proves Earth spins. Do you see where I'm going? Every time they try and prove people don't drift on trampolines, well, you're claiming Earth does have 15 degrees of it. So what are you proving? That there isn't a proof of Earth spin? Shout out to Godzilla. He's been sat with his super chat for ages. Sure, the Earth spins, as sure as Biden won the election legitimately. Okie doke.
So
come on, man. Nathan,
I can't
if
find.
I can just finish.
Adam first.
What I was,
go on, Adam.
I'm feeling. Again, I think my point maybe missed a little bit. The point I was making is they'll do that, then they'll go into the bullshittery of what has to be happening, so that you don't actually see Coriolis, and that to me is the point where you just undermine then that there is none. As soon as they go into that, the point of going into the complex what Rumpus's phrase was, or whatever he's, as soon as they go into that, they're building a world where there is no observable Coriolis. and therefore it disproves the point straight away for me. As soon as they go into that, they're trying to say that in reality we have no Coriolis, because look, this occurs, so there is none.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look at this man not drifting. So here's my example that shows we don't have drift. Reference frames ruined. It's like, okay, great. So you're showing us that we don't have 2 reference frames and Earth turning underneath then. Oh, that's so sloppy. No, that's what's supposed to happen and doesn't on a turning Earth that isn't turning. Earth is stationary.
Also, Adam, I just heard that the other, just yesterday. I listened to that when Rumpus said it was sloppy, and I'm thinking, so it's sloppy to describe the Earth spinning underneath the pendulum when that's the claim. So your claim is sloppy?
Yeah, sloppy until he goes on to Ranty Flat Earth's channel and then claims that Earth is turning underneath the sun.
1,000 miles that way, and as soon as you're doing that, you're arguing in their bullshit excuse for why you don't see Earth turn, well, even though the Earth's turning.
Exactly.
And you've just got to bring them back to the fact that, no, then you're demonstrating there are no reference frames, end of. You can't.
Well, that's what Dan did. So thanks, Dan, for demonstrating lack of reference frames.
Yeah,
exactly. Was saying moving relative to the Earth, though. So what does that mean? What is he
relative to the Earth?
There?
Drift. It means Earth's turning underneath, relative to the spinning reference that's turning underneath. They just use this vernacular to confuse people, Neil.
Okay. You just don't want to say spinning underneath.
Yeah, relative motion. Well, relative to what? Well, to the Earth turning underneath in their claim, but they won't ever voice that because it's overtly obvious that doesn't happen. Earth isn't turning underneath anything. Now, the fact that they can assert it with a football, a sniper's bullet, a gyroscope, a pendulum, absolutely cements their claim that Earth turns underneath stuff not attached at 15 degrees an hour, until we point it out and say that would shorten flight time, or your drone would whiz away 1,000 miles an hour, and then they tell us it's a sloppy description, because it doesn't happen.
Well, some people do sacrilege and say that Neil deGrasse Tyson got it wrong. Some people do actually say that.
Yeah, he did get it wrong. We say that, Neil.
Can we try it now? Can we see if any glober will tell us if the Earth is supposed to be spinning underneath pendulums and hot air balloons and bullets and all that stuff?
I think, well, if you look at last night, right? Last night's show Nathan put on, I don't think the Rumpus didn't know how a pendulum works. I think he realised, shit, I know where Nathan's going to take me. So I can't answer it this way. I can't answer it. He knew he was done all ends up. So it was better to pretend you don't know how a pendulum works than to be led down that path and get your ass spanked or a firm teabagging, as I think he received.
I think is where
we've got them too.
Exactly. At the expense of his own humility, he'd rather say, well, I don't really know. Maybe it's an elliptical orbit. Well, if a pendulum has an elliptical orbit, like with their example dragging a man not drifting, then, pendulums just have a circular motion then. So nothing to see here. They just naturally go around in a circle. It's not proving anything then. That's just what pendulums do. No, it's claimed Earth's turning underneath
that,
them.
Would he? He wouldn't do that. As soon as that came out his mouth, Nathan, he realised that the consequence of that being that, well, then the Earth's not spinning, then it's just a wobbly pendulum.
Yeah.
He didn't know which way to go because they can't, because their whole premise contradicts itself.
Yeah,
and he knows it.
And then he started stuttering.
Yeah, and he knows it. That's the thing that was the most telling for me. That he knew he had to figure out a way around the problem. So he's aware of the problem.
Well, let's not forget the biggest tell here. The minute they argue conservation and momentum, they're basically saying, okay, we admit the sun is moving at 15 degrees.
Yeah, it's not us turning underneath. There's no deflection. There's no drift. There's no Coriolis effect. Earth isn't turning underneath. For you to say it would be sloppy.
And they're also trying to take you off the actual subject of the Coriolis because the conservation of momentum has nothing to do with the Coriolis.
Yep.
Coriolis is the observation from the non-inertial reference frame. Conservation of momentum, that would be the projectile, ball, balloon, whatever the hell. They're just trying to distract you from the actual topic.
Yep.
So you need reference frames.
Well, you need to observe it from the ground. You need to observe it from the turning reference frame. If you're describing it with a roundabout, it's your observation of the tree. Oh, no, it's coming towards me. That's the description of Coriolis. So the path of the tree and the tree's conservation of its angular or linear momentum that's kind of relevant to the fact that you're turning towards it to make it look like the tree's coming towards you. Or if it was a ball being thrown, it would be the effect of you moving towards the ball to make its curved path appear from your vantage point. Well, that's nothing to do with the actual path, because it's a not actual deflection caused by you turning underneath. And as Chocolate says, once you point out that we're not turning underneath anything, nothing's drifting at 15 degrees an hour, they want to take it into the frame of reference of the ball, or the bullet, or the helicopter, and tell you all about how that is conserving momentum when the observation of Coriolis is you observing it seem to drift as you turn underneath it. But because we don't see it, they need to talk about the bullet and its actual path, when Coriolis is not actual deflection that you see from the ground as you turn underneath something. So you can't justify them turning together and still have Coriolis effect, because you're not turning underneath it anymore, as you require on a globe Earth that's spinning, because that's your claim proof it spins.
That's why I like the lampposts, because they can't claim conservation of momentum because the lamppost ain't moving.
I'd like to just give some clarity on what the actual conservation of momentum is. The conservation for both angular and linear. If you are on a children's roundabout and you're holding onto the bars of that roundabout when it's being spun around, when you leave go of that, right, when you're out at the edge of it and you leave go, you will be thrown away at an angle from that spinning reference frame. Right? You're conserving the momentum of the movement of the roundabout. You'll be thrown away at an angle away from that. We all know this when we did this when we were younger in playgrounds, when we held on to the bars on the roundabout thing, and someone else spun it, and then you let go and you got thrown away at an angle away from it.
Yeah.
Linear momentum is like when you see in a movie where someone's on top of a car and the car is driving fast, and then it puts on the brakes and the person on the top of the car flies off the car and goes forward. That's linear momentum. That's the conservation of momentum, not what the ballers have been saying it is. That's the real conservation of momentum, both for angular and linear. You're conserving the momentum of what you were on, or of the direction you were moving.
But it's only for a fraction of a second.
Let me respond.
It's for a very short period of time. It's also not drift. But yeah, if you want to say that as you are thrown for the fraction of a second that you leave, you're going to retain some of the angular momentum of the roundabout. Yeah, I'll agree with you. But does that mean that the guy who's watching you after you've left will still see you flying around off the roundabout next to you? No.
But don't forget that moving frame would have to stop for you to be able to conserve the energy.
No, not necessarily.
Or you would have to leave.
Yeah, you'd have to leave.
Let me clarify some claims, because again, I just want to make sure everyone's accurate. So there's still a question as to if you did this on the platform and it's moving straight line, you throw the ball, it comes down. It does, and and the reason I knew that is because I had seen examples. I posted one live chat. I know some of you all are on the Hangout, but if you YouTube kinematics demo cart and ball, that will show you that there's a straight platform. There's a device on it, and it as he pushes the device in a straight line on the platform at a few miles per hour, it shoots a ball up about 3 feet, and the ball comes back down and lands in the same little
3 feet.
bucket.
That's it, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen higher ones. I've seen them like 8-9 feet. It still works.
Sure,
it still works, but to Nathan's point, it debunks their claim anyway.
Exactly. It's lack of drift. Lack of 15 degrees an hour deviation as we turn underneath. It's just going up and coming down again in the same spot. And if they say, oh, well, Earth travelled with the atmosphere, well, then that's still not drifting. So it's not got a deflection at 15 degrees an hour. Well, that's the thing that's needed to prove we're spinning. If it drifts at the same speed, it's not drifting.
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying on that straight ahead sidewalk moving, if I'm flipping the ball up 3 or 4 feet, it's going to come right back down. Once I launch that freaking thing 20, 30 feet in the air, it is not coming back down into my hand.
Not if Earth's turning underneath it, it's not.
Right. If you maintain, if the momentum is the same, there's no acceleration or deceleration, it absolutely will. And I just want to make sure you're understanding of that. For example, if you're in a car, you have a ball and you're in the passenger seat and the person's going exactly 50 miles per hour, if you throw the ball up in a perfectly straight line, which would probably be impossible, but if you could, it would come right back down into your hand, right?
Yeah,
no matter how high you
do
threw
it. System, yeah.
If you're inside.
Yeah, inside the car. Yeah, with the air moving along with you. Yes.
Of course, nobody's arguing that.
Yeah, well, no, they are, Neil. No, Dan and Craig Fight the Flat Earth are currently arguing that. They're saying, look, this guy is analogous to you throwing a ball up and down in a car that's closed moving at 50 miles an hour. There's no deflection. There is no 15 degrees an hour drift. The ball doesn't fly to the back of the car. Yeah, but you need Earth to do that. You need Earth to demonstrate that it turns underneath stuff not attached at 15 degrees an hour. That's drift. So none of this, I'll show you how it doesn't drift. Well, that doesn't prove it does.
Nathan, it's a false analogy anyway. If their claim is that that's analogous to chucking a ball up and down in the back of a car traveling at 50 mile an hour, that car's got to be on a curve at 50 mile an hour for it to be an equivalence. But if they've got it in a straight line, that's not an equivalence. That's a false equivalence.
But it's a false equivalence for something they're not claiming. Because they're claiming, regardless of if they say the ball comes back to your hand, ball hits the side window because you're going round in a circle, or ball hits the back window. Well, they need it to deflect. So in your example, it would need them to be doing the same example, but with a flatbed truck, going round and round a roundabout, throwing a ball up in the air whilst on the roundabout, and seeing it curve away from the flatbed truck. Because that would be the ball deviating from the motion that you observe on the back of the flatbed truck, i.e. Coriolis deflection, not actual drift from your vantage point as you turn underneath the ball you've just thrown. Them showing the ball coming back to your hand on the flatbed truck, is it not drifting away from you, as they claim Earth has? That's Coriolis deflection. Stuff drifting away at 15 degrees an hour. Something that never happens.
Not to mention they are, with their explanations, actually trying to say Earth is a closed system.
Yeah, you'd need Earth to be like the car, moving along with the atmosphere travelling along with it. Well, that would violate the first law of thermodynamics on a spinning sphere, because the increase of speed of the air would have to be in effect as you went up in altitude. Its circumference, its journey would increase. Therefore, the velocity would have to increase as you go up in altitude. It's absolutely absurd. Same would apply for anything that's lifting off the ground. So it takes off, and to keep the momentum of the ground beneath it, which is a smaller circumference, it would have to increase its velocity to match the ground beneath. It would also not give you drift at 15 degrees an hour. That's them drifting apart from one another.
Got a little bit
the
of
evidence
Professor
of gas
Lewis
pressure
demonstrating.
to a vacuum with that.
Go on then. Let's have a look. Oh, where's my mouse pointer? There we go. No sound, but can you tell us what he's telling
Yeah,
us?
I thought I'd keep that off.
What's he telling us?
He's going to fire this projectile up in the air. He's just demonstrated it with nothing. Now he's going to set it rolling, then fire the projectile out, and you'll.
Oh, so he's firing it out and catching it.
Yeah. Now he's
Gotcha.
put a little cup on it, obviously to give a bit of leeway. But if you watch,
so he's
the video I was
demonstrating the
looking-
conservation of momentum, right?
Yeah.
Right, I've
Conservation
got
of
one
momentum
here.
demonstration.
Can you show my screen?
Yeah, sure. But just while you're doing that,
Do you,
what that is a demonstration that the two move together, synchronized, not drifting apart, but moving together. Like the trampoline guy isn't drifting, not demonstrating that they move apart 15 degrees an hour, showing they move together, completely annihilating the idea that we have a Coriolis effect. Right, you're up, Anthony.
do you see the apple thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you now see the Coriolis effect window?
Yeah.
So this is like it's worth. We don't need the sound, obviously, but it's worth showing this because this illustrates the 2 points. When the roundabout's not turning, you can see that all four observers on the roundabout are able to freely throw the ball to and from each other without seeing any apparent drift, and that's what you'd expect because it's not turning. They're just able to throw it to each other, no problem. However, when the thing starts turning, they see on the roundabout they see apparent drift, but the real observer on the outside, the non-inertial frame of reference, sees that the ball is still traveling straight. So the apparent deflection is from the observer on the rotating platform, which is not what we see in real world. We don't see any observations real world where there is apparent drift, because if we did, we would see planes apparently drifting with times when they're flying east and west, and we don't see that. Now, when they try and argue against it, they've got to try and argue against the apparent drift that we're not seeing. Well, that basically argues our case for us, but they think it's arguing their case for them, and it's not. So they're arguing against their own model, but don't realise it.
Yep. Well, that's come to a fruition now, thanks to Simon, Dan, and Craig's helping.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's the only one that gives you it shows you the apparent deflection and the lack of apparent deflection from the non-inertial frame of reference. And that's what you've got to visualize with regards to planes or bullets or helicopters from the rotating frame of reference.
You mean the inertial?
Huh?
You mean the inertial frame?
From the rotating frame of reference or the inertial frame of reference, we must see
non-inertial. Only
non-inertial.
The deflection is inertial.
Let me just clarify.
Apologies. So from the non-inertial frame of reference, we've got to see things deflecting or appear to deflect, and we're not seeing it.
I just need to clarify it so it's clear. Non-inertial is the reference frame you're on. The reason it's described as non-inertial is because you're not moving. You're attached to the thing that is. So as far as you're concerned, you aren't moving, non-inertial. Because the effect you're going to be describing, the not actual drift, is going to be taking place in the inertial reference frame. So it's an item travelling in a straight line in a different frame of reference that's inertial from your vantage point. So you're going to see it seem to drift. Well, that's from your non-inertial reference frame. So you're going to witness something happening. That would be the drift. The thing coming towards you, oh no, the tree's coming to get me. Well, that is taking place in the inertial reference frame. The tree is moving towards you in the inertial reference frame. In reality, it's not moving at all, it's a tree. But you see it seem to come towards you. And that's because your frame of reference describing this not actual drift is non-inertial, describing some inertia. Not actual inertia, apparent inertia of a tree coming towards you as you spin towards it on your non-inertial spinning reference frame.
So basically, the point is the conservation of momentum point doesn't work if we're on a curved trajectory because we're supposed to be on a curve. It doesn't work. So their argument is flawed anyway.
Their argument for something that shouldn't happen in their rhetoric is also flawed. That's correct. Also, I'm going to do another quick couple of shout-outs because Flatsoid FE has actually covered this with his own demonstration, as good as the National Geographic one that might get me a copyright strike was. He has also done it. So go and check out Flatsoid's channel and find his demonstration where he has it a camera phone attached to a fan, and you can see what happens from the non-inertial spinning reference frame versus the inertial reference frame. So go and check him out. Subscribe today. He's in a bit of a tete-a-tete at the moment with Craig Fight Flat Earth, so you can check that out on Flatsoid FE's channel, if I can get my tongue around it. Subscribe today. Please let him know that I sent you. Leave him a little comment if you do go and subscribe that just says Nathan Oakley 1980 sent you. Also, the reason I can so concisely describe non-inertial and inertial reference frames is because of Paula, who explained it to me. So I can now detail it back to you. So that's purely down to her explanation, because I didn't get it. It's like, why is it non-inertial if I'm spinning? Doesn't make any sense. And then she broke it down for me. Now I can break it down for you because I'm a subscriber of Bible Literalist. So go and subscribe today to Bible Literalist. She's an absolutely fantastic YouTuber. She is extremely well researched, and you can subscribe to her channel in the link that is going to be in the live stream chat right now. So go and subscribe to Paula, Bible Literalist, and a completely other end of the extreme, a very proactive YouTuber, Josh, who's over at Authentic Intent channel. So subscribe today to Authentic Intent, who, as I say, is a very, very proactive YouTuber, goes out and about, encourages conversation with his very, very friendly and approachable demeanour. So he's a really nice YouTuber to watch and relax to. Does stir controversy, is deceptive, might be amiable, might be approachable, but he does definitely catch people out and give them a bit of a shock when he talks to them. So that's the third link that's scrolling by in the YouTube live stream chat feed. So go and subscribe to Authentic Intent, Bible Literalist, and Flatsoid FE, who are all exceptionally good YouTubers, and you need to just let them know that I sent you to subscribe.
So you're
I'd just
saying
like to say, go on, Neil, I'll go after it.
I was just gonna say. So you're saying the roundabout is spinning, but you're on it. You're not moving.
Correct.
Personally.
Yeah. The effect you're going to describe is a not actual effect. But to have a not actual effect, you've got to be on a platform that's moving, but you're not moving in relation to. So therefore, you're non-inertial, describing a not actual effect. It's very confusing.
I have a problem with the video that Adam showed with the linear momentum.
Okay.
That ball was sent up in half a loop. It makes half a loop. It doesn't go straight up in the air and conserve the momentum, come straight back down. It's sent up in time to land back in the thing. It doesn't look like it's like the whole thing is correct. It looks like it's a little bit of a put on.
No, I disagree. If what you're saying was correct, it would it could only go up directly straight, like 90 degrees. And it's not. It's definitely not doing that, is it?
No, it seems to be sent forward. It seems to be sent up forward, so it does land in the thing.
But that's the point. It's conserving the momentum of the pushing forward.
Well, yeah, but it's proving the thing they're trying to prove. But the thing is, the ball is not sent straight up. It's been sent as the thing, before the thing even gets moving, it's been sent in a loop. It's been sent up forward, so it does come back down. At least somewhere near where, at least somewhere near where the thing is going to be.
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
totally
look correct
agree.
to me. It looks like it's a put on.
No, he fires it on moving first. I'll show you.
Yeah, before you do, I completely agree with you, Brian. But if this succeeds as a demonstration of the conservation of momentum, regardless if you want to argue that it's not angular, it's not drifting. Their example is that Earth is demonstrated to be spinning because we have 15 degrees an hour deviation as Earth turns underneath stuff not attached. So this example, wonderful, yeah, great demonstration of the retention of angular velocity. Okay, but Earth's supposed to have deviation at 15 degrees an hour as we turn underneath. So it's proving what now? Nothing for the globe. With that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, smashed the super chat, shared, commented, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Another massive thank you to today's Discord and G Plus panels for making today's live show possible. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on either Premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!
Quick shout out to James Richard, who says, off topic, but true. Satan's globe creation is over. This will and is separating the tares from the wheat, the goat from the sheep. Thank you very much indeed for smashing the super chat, James Richard.
I don't know.
Did Nathan just sound choppy?
Choppy?
I think he was thanking. He was thanking a super chat while I was talking, so I stopped talking.
Yeah, I had your line closed while I was doing that.
I got a couple
Can't believe we
questions
didn't
for the panel.
gravity.
Hold on, I got a couple of questions from Chris first. Go ahead, Chris.
So, yeah, I was another show ended just trying to get to the gas pressure bit. So, in lieu of my hot air balloon call, I'm going to call a vacuum company. I've already been emailing with them, so I'm going to call here in a little bit and record it as well. So I was going to see if there's any questions you all can come up with that I should ask in that call.
Yeah. How can you have gas
Ask
pressure
them.
without a container?
I'll get to that.
Ask them if they can create a vacuum without a container.
Equally good. Chocolate's question. How can you have a
Say it again?
vacuum without a container?
Okay.
The same question, but for the vacuum rather than for the gas pressure, basically.
Right. So in the email I just asked him. I sent them the clip of people putting, building these homemade vacuums and putting, little bitty, I don't know what to call it, fire powered rockets in, and turning them on and saying, "Oh, look, they work inside of a vacuum." And so I sent him that and said, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And I was going to see if you had any time for other questions, blah blah blah. And the guy who's the president of this vacuum company, they create vacuums and they work on vacuums. So like they're just, they just know a lot about it. He said, well, first of all, the gas is filling the vacuum almost instantly. He's like, so that's a problem. And then he's like, the pressure inside is, he's like, I'm surprised that thing didn't blow up from the pressure, he says, that they created inside the supposed vacuum that was no longer a vacuum once it filled with the gas from the rocket. So this guy's already spot on to the deception of them trying to
I've got a question you could ask him, because if you go and look at Rob Durham's channel, he did this years ago, setting off a firework and attached it to a little toy so it'd go along the thing. And we discussed it back then, and that was the initial critique. You may have well evacuated the chamber, but the second that rocket fires, the gases it's got suddenly stop the vacuum, and the longer it burns, the more and more atmosphere you're creating for the rocket to push against. So my question to them would be, what would the size of a chamber need to be, and what would the evacuation rate of that chamber need to be for you to be able to fire a rocket in a chamber for you to demonstrate the effect of it firing in space, which is an infinite vacuum?
Well, you'd have to have the same rate as the gas was produced. Yeah. Whatever the rate the gas was being produced at in litres per second, you'd have to have the evacuation rate identical or higher. It wouldn't matter if it was higher.
But the point being, it shows that none of these experiments or tests, the demonstrations that go on, have any validity, because unless you've got that where you're matching the rate of production so that there is nothing to push against, but in all these, they're little chambers, the gas is coming out at thousands of miles an hour. It's hitting that chamber, coming back and giving something for the other ejection poles to push against, which is not what should be happening in any simulation. That particle should come out and carry on forever, shouldn't it?
Now at the end of the explanation, which I completely agree with, and I saw Rob Durham's example with his vacuum over the back of the jet, basically showing that if you sucked away the pressure that's created by the rocket, then it's not going anywhere. Then you just literally shove the vacuum at the back of the jet, and bye was the movement, no movement. Well, that's all well and good, other than the fact that we couldn't have a sky vacuum to begin with. So we're arguing about a fake place. So without the container, there can be no pressure, and the sky is claimed to be a vacuum. Well, arguing about what a vacuum might or might not do doesn't in any way justify the fact that people think the sky is a vacuum, but we wouldn't have any gas to breathe if it was.
Can I?
So
once you're done with this,
you're saying Rob's already done that?
I'll on 10th, just to let Chris get to the end of his point. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. So, sorry. So Adam or whoever was saying, so Rob did do that, where he put a vacuum next to some exhaust, and
yeah, I'll find you the clip, mate, if you give me a second.
He puts like a bottle rocket on a toy car. It's not in a vacuum chamber. He's just showing that if you remove the what would you call it, propellant? Is that the right term? Once it's coming out the back of the rocket, once you remove that, it's got nothing to push upon. So if you suck it away, as an infinite vacuum would do, then you've got nothing for it to push upon. Exactly as you described, and the guy from the vacuum company described. But my point is that why would you argue about whether or not a rocket would work in space when the sky is not a vacuum?
Right, it's baby steps.
That would relate back to the first question of, can you have a vacuum without a container?
Go on, Chris.
No, I was just joking. I was saying, well, yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree, but baby steps, right? For a lot of people who want to see that or know that, it's a lot of people don't want to go straight to the common sense answer of what you just said. They want to say, oh, well, I want to see it. I want to see this rocket not working due to being in a vacuum, kind of a thing.
Yeah, because they want to hold on to the idea that space may or may not have vacuums, may or may not have rockets capable of working in it. But the overarching idea of space still being real is still cemented in the idea of both debater. When you win your argument that rockets wouldn't work in space, so we've still got space then. Oh, well, they don't work in space, but we've still got space.
They don't want to hear space is fake, in other words.
Ask him at what altitude entropy stops working.
No, it doesn't. What are you talking about? Entropy doesn't stop working at a certain altitude.
Entropy stops working? Gee, then I'll stop aging.
Yeah, well, no, that was my point, though. The question would just mess him up.
That is
Just want to see what
their
an
claim.
expert would
Entropy
say.
stops working and starts working in reverse, and the gas starts coming back down, mostly down, fall down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash. I mean, what the hell, man? Might as well ask him that, right?
So back to Adam's video, he showed that before he pushed the mechanism on the rail, the ball went straight up and down. Then when he pushed it at a certain speed, the ball went up and met the thing at a future point and caught it. That reminded me of me as a kid running and throwing a baseball and catching it while I'm running. But I also realized that if I don't throw it just right, it's either going to be too far in front of me or it's going to be behind me, and I got to reach back to catch it while I'm still running forward. So this is a very simple thing here. You got the momentum of the person running, throwing the ball at a synchronized speed to the run. It's going to come up and down precisely where your hand is because you feel that motion and what you got to do with it. But if you throw a little too much or a little too less, it's going to go off.
Exactly.
What, drift? Drift, you mean?
Yeah.
From the intended path?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they need Earth to do. It just doesn't do it.
That was part of what I was saying concerning that video, is that it was very timed. And he also put a funnel on when he put the thing moving. Whereas when he first showed the ball going up in the air, he didn't have the funnel. And the ball went more straight in the air. If he didn't have that right timed, there's no way that ball is going to come back down into that.
Maybe, maybe not. But either way, it's not drift. So yeah, we could argue all day. We could argue all day about this proving that we have conservation of angular momentum. But then we've got an example, if they prove their point, where there's no difference between a stationary Earth and a turning Earth. There's no discernible proof of either. Well, what's that proving? Well, nothing, because their claim isn't that things move with Earth as it turns because they assume it turns, with no discernible effect, versus a stationary Earth. They're supposed to have it drifting apart 15 degrees an hour. I'm going to say this the whole time until I'm blue in the face. They're supposed to have Earth turning underneath.
That's correct. That's correct.
But we're not really talking about their claim. We're talking about linear momentum, because that's an example of it's supposed to be linear momentum. Whereas their claim is angular momentum anyway.
That's what he's telling you is the problem, man. We're just talking about this momentum crap. And we're supposed to be talking about an observation from a non-inertial reference frame that's called the Coriolis effect.
Exactly. Exactly. We're not talking about conservation of momentum. As much as they want to make the argument about whether or not it's conservation of momentum, that's not their argument. Their argument is Earth turns underneath stuff not attached at 15 degrees an hour. Not it conserves momentum. That's not their claim.
Yeah, but I think what Brian's saying is they got that wrong too. They can't even get that right.
Yeah, they can't even get their false claim of conservation correct. Yes, I see what Brian's saying now. Yeah, thanks, Neil.
You guys remember my story of my four-wheel drive truck, and we were at camp in the mountains, and the kids said, "Hey, let's go for a ride." And I took them for a ride, and there was, I don't know, 5 kids in the back or something. And I'm watching them in the rearview mirror, and they're hanging on, and I go over this bump. It was like a speed bump, kind of a bump, not too big. And they lifted off the bed of the truck. They couldn't hang on to the rails. They were freely in the air, and I'm moving from underneath them, and they all landed in different spots of that truck.
Right. So conservation of momentum is one thing. You will leave the object with it, okay? But the object underneath, the Earth or the truck, is still having work applied to it to continue it moving at that speed. Now, when you leave, you've got that, but you will lose it Okay, so that you bumping into other air molecules will slow you down. You may leave at the same speed. That's why Lewin put a cup on the thing to catch it, because there will be.
Adam, don't forget that the object underneath you, the Earth, is not following a straight path underneath you. It's curving.
That's a separate point. The point I'm making, the ballers imply that you carry this forever, no matter what you encounter. That momentum is maintained. It's not maintained. You just leave with it. It will then depreciate. It doesn't. You don't carry on at that speed forever.
Yes, correct. I agree with that.
Indeed.
Wrong. Hey, I was just gonna say, Globers.
Hold on, but I was gonna say, Nathan,
Where you guys at?
What they're trying to say is, with that argument, with my son at least,
No, we up
he
in
claims that the Earth is traveling with the atmosphere.
Yeah, Ed, you just don't understand Coriolis.
Hang on, before this gets going, I want to say, Ed, you're welcome to sit in the back of my truck anytime, and I'll prove it to you.
There's
Yes,
snacks.
So no drift, Neil.
Snacks are in the back, right?
So no drift then.
Hey Ed, does the Earth rotate underneath a pendulum?
I don't care. Can you ask it in the form of a rep?
You don't care? Oh, okay.
Good question, Chocolate.
So
Ed
Nathan,
don't
what's
care
the
nothing,
definition of-
no, yo.
Oh, shut the fuck up with your gay ass tactics.
No need. No need.
Easy.
Yeah, you're mad. Wow.
So how may we help you, Ed?
Easy. Ed's right.
Yeah, so what's the definition of... So, yeah, stop talking, please. What's the definition of Coriolis again? Nathan, can you read it for us?
Sorry, we just asked you about whether or not Earth turns underneath a pendulum, and you said you didn't care, but you think we should honour your questions.
Yeah,
well,
we don't care about your
shit.
shit.
Yeah, we don't care.
Hour, so
we don't
what's
care.
the definition, Nathan?
We don't care. You don't have any Coriolis. Earth's not turning underneath anything. You don't
Nobody cares.
So you don't.
What's the definition? Not the one you're using, Ed. That's
You don't know.
That's it.
Or you don't know anything. Be quiet.
I don't know anything. Yeah.
You're asking us to define your claim? That's weird.
Tell us about William Rux again.
Ed, be quiet, you don't know anything.
Right, so what's the
No,
definition
be quiet,
of
you don't know anything, man.
No.
No, yes.
What's the definition?
No.
Nathan?
No.
Are you there?
What's wrong?
Leave him for Nathan.
Right.
Hot mic, Sasha. Hot mic.
So,
sorry.
The definition, Coriolis, anyone?
Yeah, it's on screen for my audience with the
you?
GIF showing it.
How about
Yeah,
how
can you
about
read
you,
it to
Ed?
me? I'm not, can't watch it, of course. It's the after show, so.
Is it that you don't know
What's
it?
the point of this, Ed? What's your point? You wouldn't answer a question about your globe Earth claim with Foucault's pendulum, but yet you want to challenge me on a definition I've got up on screen to read it to you. What are you, illiterate?
Yeah,
Can't you read?
You've been talking about it for over an hour, so what's the definition then?
Sorry, it's your claim. Maybe you should tell us, given you claim it for your globe Earth that spins. It's not my claim. I don't make this claim. Why would I define Coriolis? I'm not claiming it, you stupid idiot.
We're talking about it.
Sorry, you claim it on your side. Are you deaf?
I'm not claiming your straw man argument.
Oh, so I claim Coriolis deviation as Earth turns underneath at 15 degrees an hour, do I? I need to define it because I'm claiming it, am I?
Yeah, what's the definition, Nathan? Please
Sorry,
tell us.
am I claiming Coriolis deviation in any way, shape or form to need to define it? Or is this your claim that you refused when we asked you about Foucault? So this isn't my claim I've suddenly got to justify. It's your claim that when asked about, you said you didn't care.
It's your claim, Nathan.
No, I don't.
Oh, it's my claim? Sorry, who said that? Who says it's my claim?
It's virus.
Virus, do you want to show me an example where I claim Coriolis effect for something? Go.
You are giving us a straw man version of Coriolis, which makes it your Coriolis.
Are you deaf? Tell me where I claim this, you stupid idiot.
every time you talk about Coriolis.
Where do I claim Coriolis deflection in anything ever?
On the globe.
I don't claim the Earth's a globe! You do! You stupid idiot!
Share your pain, Nathan.
I don't think.
Are you thick? Are you dense? When I claim a globe virus, I don't!
I ain't say when you claim the globe.
Sorry, who claims the globe, me or you?
I do.
You do. So, me defining Coriolis something you claim and doesn't happen on Earth would require me to justify the definition of something I don't claim and you do. No, this is your claim, globe moron. I'm not strawmanning anything with my description of how Coriolis works on a globe. I don't claim we're on a globe, you do.
It's your straw man.
My strawman claim of Coriolis? Where do I claim that, retard?
The last hour.
Oh, so I claim we have deflection at 15 degrees an hour as Earth turns underneath. I claim that, do I? You complete moron.
You
guys are
strong.
Is he so dumb he doesn't understand me just explaining the Coriolis to them?
Yeah, he doesn't understand Coriolis effect is real. It just doesn't happen on Earth. But you claim it does! And you're telling me to justify how your claim doesn't work by defining the thing you claim on a globe Earth that spins, that would be Coriolis effect. I've got to justify it, have I? I'm not claiming it, you retards. You are.
Justify your straw man reference.
It's not my claim! How thick are you? Hello? Let's just get it clear for these two complete idiots. I do not claim Coriolis effect ever for anything under any circumstances. I don't need Coriolis deflection. But the globe does. You claim Earth turns underneath stuff not attached at 15 degrees an hour to give you and your globe a claimed proof it spins. That would be you utilising Coriolis effect to make your claim that Earth turns underneath at 15 degrees an hour. If Earth turned underneath at 15 degrees an hour, things would deflect. They don't. That's your claim being debunked. I don't need to now justify what Coriolis is. It's your claim I'm destroying. Now maybe you'd like to tell us how Coriolis works and how it proves Earth spinning, rather than demanding I justify the definition for something I don't claim on your model. I debunk it.
It's still something you made up, regardless.
I made up Coriolis effect. No. You throw a ball off a roundabout, it seems to curve away from you. That's a very real effect that you claim happens on Earth. It just doesn't.
Hey, this is your Coriolis.
Oh, it's my Coriolis. Are you so stupid as you still really feel like Simon Dan that you've got to lay your claim at my door? It's not my Coriolis claim, idiot. It's the globe's claim. Things turn underneath. Stuff not attached at 15 degrees an hour. Your claim, idiot.
Well, can you at least get our claim right?
What is your claim? Maybe you can define Coriolis like I was challenged to, given it's your claim. Yeah? Seem unreasonable? You're telling me I've got your claim wrong? Yeah, maybe you could clarify your claim of a globe Earth turning underneath at 15 degrees an hour for stuff to deflect. That's move apart. Maybe you could define it as it's your claim.
No, Nathan. You've been talking about it for like an hour.
Yeah, debunking it. Earth isn't turning underneath anything at 15 degrees an hour. We asked you about your claim of a Foucault pendulum, and you said you weren't interested. But you're very interested in me defining your claim.
Can't stop muting Discord.
I'm not muting anything, you stupid dick. I'm telling you that you're asking me to define something you claim. It fails, your claim of Coriolis on a turning Earth. Your claim fails. I debunk it by pointing out that Earth isn't turning underneath anything, as per your claim of Coriolis.
demonstrate you know what you're talking about.
It's on screen for my audience. Yeah, it's your claim. I need to know what I'm talking about with your claim of Coriolis, do I?
We're not watching your show. Do you understand that?
You're part of it, you thick shit.
Read it for us.
Suck my balls. Go to Wikipedia and read it yourself.
Dad, he's been doing this for over half a year on a daily basis, you freaking idiot.
About and read it
Why?
for us.
I don't need to know how this claim works, Ed. It's your claim. So if you want to labour how I've got it wrong, your claim that you're making, feel free. But don't demand that I now justify the definition of your claim. You say I'm debunking incorrectly, because I'm certainly not claiming it, mate. You are.
What you're talking about.
You know how stupid y'all sound asking us to define your claim for you?
Boris, you just said.
Do you even realize that?
Boris, you just said we're not.
I can hear everything.
Describing your claim correct. So can you just
understand
describe it for us?
Coriolis, Nathan? Show it to us.
It's on screen for my audience. It's not my claim. I don't need to claim it or justify how it works. When I'm not claiming it works on a turning Earth, you are.
Why are you so scared to read the definition? Why?
I'm not scared of anything, you stupid idiot.
Come on.
Sorry, I keep pointing out that it's your claim. You need to be defining it. You need to be justifying it. You need to be giving us an example of it happening, and you're challenging me to do it like it's my claim and it isn't.
Read the definition of Coriolis. Come on.
Suck my nuts. Come here and suck on them. Because I say so, like you're telling me to read something. That's your claim that you should be making, you should be defining, and you should be showing happening.
So, are you going to demonstrate you know what you're talking about?
This tactic is so dead.
Yeah, useless as shit.
I think they forgot what the
Let's light this scarecrow on fire, guys.
So you don't know what Coriolis is.
It's on screen for my audience with the GIF demonstrating it. You've got two turning reference frames. One is observed from
your screen in the after show.
Seems like you're just
Share
ignoring
your
me.
screen or read it out loud. Come on.
I was. You interrupted.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was. Literally just then, and you carried on talking, fundy muting me. So I'm not going to now because you can't help yourself. You just want to interrupt.
Right.
You have a disability?
Yeah, he's an abject retard. It's in Discord. There's about 4 definitions in risk.
Horribly.
We're in good shape.
It's a scarecrow looking for a brain
Which
getting on
one?
everybody's
All of
turn.
them. They're all
Could you please define our claim for us?
That's how you
They're all
guys
saying
are.
the same thing, retard.
Yeah, I would like to know that Nathan knows what
He
he's
does know
talking
what he's
about.
talking
Read
about.
one.
You're a retard. Demonstrated
You
how
don't know
many
what we're
times.
talking
You're
about.
the living straw
You can
man.
demonstrate you're a retard on any topic.
Retard.
Any
Definition of
topic.
Coriolis. How about that?
Any topic you like.
Right, Nathan.
Let's try a spelling
come on.
contest.
Where is it?
Spell ridiculous.
Topics.
QE.
Your sister. You have
No,
no
Ed,
idea what you're
Ed,
talking
you've not
about. You
once
never did.
acknowledged what I've said. It's your
Yeah,
claim.
actually
You
do.
should be
You
defining.
actually
Nathan.
don't. Come
You're
on.
still
retard.
ignoring me, Ed. It's your claim that you should be defining for your claim Earth spins underneath at 15 degrees an hour.
No, you're talking about it for like an hour. Come on.
Debunking it, mate. George,
I don't know
debunking
what
it.
you're talking
Debunking your claim.
This
Debunking. You're just ignoring me. Debunk.
No,
Yeah,
you're
just still fundy muting me, right?
drawing
Fundy muting me.
reference
Fundy mute
frames.
constantly, right, Ed? No, what I'm doing, Ed,
Uh-huh.
is So continual fundy muting. What a coward! It's because you've lost, Ed. It's because you can't address my question. Yeah,
what
I'm
was
deep.
the
Yeah, there he goes
Discord
again. I'm not getting a chance, am I, Ed? You just fundy muting me the whole time. So, Ed, what I'm doing isn't claiming Coriolis. That would be you that's claiming Coriolis.
Yes.
I'm deep.
No.
There he goes again. Fundy mute, coward. Let's try again. So I'll try once more. I'm not
read the
claiming. There he goes
definition of
again. Can't
Coriolis.
contain himself because he
Coward.
knows he's lost. What a coward. Fundy
Come
muting
on.
me constantly,
Read
right,
the
Ed?
definition, Nathan. Stop being a coward. Come on.
I'm
Be
going
a
to
big
kick you out.
boy and read the
Going to
definition.
kick you out.
Come on.
Going to kick you out. So I've explained and you've not addressed it. I'll try once more. If you interrupt again, you're gone immediately. I'm not claiming Coriolis. You're interrupting me with your laughter now.
Kick him out.
Yeah, I'm going to kick him out.
Demonic cackling.
Yeah.
Ed, just let him speak. And
He
then
won't.
you
He's
speak
fundy
when
muting
he's
me.
done.
Yeah, he can't help it. He's
Nah.
got to fundy mute me because he
is-
knows that my addressing him with this, when he's fundy muted every word of it to now, will be devastating should he listen to it. So, Ed, I'm not claiming Coriolis. It's a globe claim. You're claiming Earth turns underneath to give 15 degrees an hour deflection as you observe things not attached drifting away from you on a turning Earth. That's Coriolis effect. Detailed for you as requested right now. Now, that's not my claim. I debunk it by pointing out nothing is being observed to drift away at 15 degrees an hour as we turn underneath, as is the claim on a globe Earth that spins made by you and your fundy belief. So please, can you stop asking me to justify something I don't claim when I've now done it to debunk your claim that doesn't happen on Earth? Okay?
What you got?
Now you may speak.
Why is he on mute? Did somebody mute him? Did you put yourself on server mute so you didn't have to listen to it?
I don't think any of us in Discord at the moment.
I didn't mute you. So someone muted him, and when they did, you presumably put your fingers in the ears so you didn't have to listen, right? Why did someone mute him?
No, I was deafened and muted.
By
I
who?
didn't do anything.
Okay, do you want to listen again?
Of course, that's why I'm here, but someone...
Okay, excellent. Let's see how I get on. Please don't mute him in Discord. So, Ed, I'm not claiming Coriolis effect. That would be 15 degrees an hour, turn of the Earth underneath things not attached. That's a globe Earth claim, and I'm debunking it by pointing out Earth isn't turning under things that aren't attached to demonstrate 15 degrees an hour of drift. So can you please stop asking me to define something I'm not claiming? You are. Thank you.
No, you claim a lot of things about Coriolis. So what's the definition of Coriolis
Okay,
again?
what do I claim?
Can you please
No, what do I claim?
enlighten us?
What do I claim, please?
You talked for like 1.5 hours about
Yeah, I know, you
Coriolis
said.
on this
You said.
show
You
alone.
said. You also said I claim a
Then
lot of
there's
stuff
like
about
20 more
Coriolis.
episodes about it.
Yeah, what do I claim?
Name one thing that he claimed about it.
A lot of trauma.
Yeah, do you want to tell us one of them, Ed, or did you want to tell us that I've spoken about it for a long time? What have I claimed?
Well, I've been asking you the definition of Coriolis for like.
What
30
have I
minutes, so why
claimed,
don't you
Ed?
just tell
Not
us?
what you've asked me. Are you stupid? I'm not asking you what you asked me. You said I claim a lot about it. Name one thing I've claimed.
No, you're dodging my question. I know. Yeah, you're dodging. I know that. So, what's the definition of Coriolis?
Sorry, Ed. I've already defined it for him. Sorry, guys, can you stop interrupting? Can you stop interrupting,
Talking
please?
to Nathan.
Yeah, I just did, Ed. I explained that I'd not only defined it for you, that you acknowledged it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
hear
I've
you
done it
talk
3
about the
times, Ed.
definition of Coriolis.
Ed, you stuck record, even
No.
after it's been defined. Now you're talking through me, and G Plus is interrupting
You
with
didn't tell me
background
the
noise, of
definition
course.
Coriolis.
Yeah, okay, Ed. You'd not acknowledged what I said. You've just gone back to the question I've already answered by defining it. It's on screen, I defined it.
No, but you didn't define anything.
Oh, so you're just going to keep asking me to
You
define it
just
after I've
talked
done it,
about it
ignoring my
before.
question. Yeah, now you can get out. Yeah, so basically, ignore all assertions from me. I assert I'm not claiming anything. He says you've claimed a lot. What have I claimed? Define Coriolis. That's how it goes with Ed, because he's a complete wanker.
And that came right after you defined it. So you would think that after you defined it, he understood your definition and then wanted to go into what you claimed about it. But he can't even say one claim that you mentioned about Coriolis.
Yeah, because I don't.
The Nat Geo video that Anthony showed earlier, that shows Coriolis, the Coriolis effect. Is Ed saying that's incorrect as well?
Coriolis is a real thing, demonstrable, but of Earth it does not exist.
Apparently,
trying to say-
that has joined the ranks of the geometric horizon in being considered as a straw man. Globers, your new
Coriolis effect due to the Earth spinning. That's the Coriolis effect that doesn't take place. There is Coriolis effect whenever something is moving in relation to something else.
But both him and Boris.
Yeah, Arwen's right. Coriolis effect is real. You can observe it as the, oh no, the tree's coming towards me because I'm spinning on a roundabout. That's Coriolis effect. It's real. They claim that happens on Earth. That would be, oh, look at that plane. It's curving. Oh, it's not really curving. It's me turning underneath it. Now, that doesn't happen. They claim it happens. Coriolis is real. It just doesn't happen on a spinning Earth. What's that you say, Ed? Define Coriolis? What, the thing you claim happens and we debunk? Nah. No need, mate. Oh, right, okay, I'll define it then. I'll read it out off the screen. What's that you say? Define it when I ask you why you're asking me to define it when it's your claim? Yeah, great tactics, lads. Great tactics.
You know why he's calling it a straw man? Because it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Saying Earth turns underneath is a straw man. Yeah, we know. It doesn't turn underneath.
No problem with that. Keep debunking that. No problem. Keep coming here and doing that. Thanks.
Nathan, straw man world.
Hold on, go ahead, Tenth. Hold on 1 second. 10th, go ahead.
Yeah, Nathan, wasn't Ed the guy talking about the sun shining underneath the clouds a while back ago?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
And he's still coming back because he can't figure it out?
That's right. He didn't realise he was making a Coriolis claim. That was him actually making a claim. What do you know? Within a couple of minutes of me being challenged on my claims about Coriolis, just out of the blue, we can name one that Ed's made. He claimed Earth turned underneath the sun. That would be Coriolis deflection as Earth turns underneath at 15 degrees an hour. Well, what do you know? I should be defining that, really, shouldn't I? Given that he's claimed it.
Both Ed and Boris are both claiming they're not just claiming that Nathan is claiming Coriolis. They're claiming that also he's incorrect about Coriolis, even though Nathan's actual explanation of Coriolis matches National Geographic. So they're basically saying both Nathan and National Geographic are incorrect, and also Nathan is claiming Coriolis effect for a stationary flat Earth.
And they're debunking Smoking the Grass Tyson. So
they've all fallen into
all over
the same
place with this nonsense.
They've all fallen into the same stupid trap as Dan and Fight the Flat Earth, which is to think that somehow I'm making a claim about Coriolis effect when I detail it. Oh, well, then he must be claiming it. He's claiming Earth turns underneath. Well, that's just absurd. I'm going to debunk that Nathan claims Earth should turn underneath. Oh, right. You want to debunk that I claim that? Yeah, I don't claim that. You claim that, you complete bunch of morons.
And if you're not subscribed, subscribe now to Nathan Oakley.
Become a Nathan Oakley
Yeah,
channel.
ballers. This has gotten to a pathetic level, ballers. Coming in here and calling your own claims straw men when all we're doing is defining what your claim is. You know how ridiculous that is?
Chocolate, we even demonstrate to them their own claims and they still don't get it.
Yeah.
Have you noticed as well that the main protagonists on their side refuse to engage in like comments other than to insult or ridicule, because they know that if they try staying on topic, because they're forced to stay on topic, they know that they're going to get cornered and they can't answer certain questions, so they don't engage. So what they do instead is they send in cannon fodder instead to take one for the team, and that's what's happening right now.
Exactly. That's what that is, the sacrificial lamb who either has been sent in or comes in on his own volition to die at the altar of his globe in a terrible, pathetic way.
It's more like the sacrificial lame.
Like me and Arwin realising that we're wrong on something, right? And we say, hey, Chocolate, go in there for us and get battered for us so that we don't have to. In you go, Chocolate. See you later. Me and Arwin are like, sorry, Chocolate. That's what they're doing.
Yep.
Maybe,
throwing you under the bus.
maybe Ed knows what he's doing. Maybe he thinks he's like a saint of the globe or something. Because against all odds, even against the very deceiving foundations of logic itself, he's going forward. So,
any Globers in Discord got Ed back?
He's a numpty.
Maybe Akuma.
I'm hoping Zen will bring his.
Akumu.
So, I'm hoping Zanik would bring his so-called scientific hypothesis for Coriolis.
Zanik.
At least Anna could give a better try at an argument than this clown Ed.
It's mostly down.
Hate to have to fucking defend Zanuck, but damn it. At least he'll try. Ed is just no irrelevant. Straw man.
Yeah, can you explain the thing you've explained over 10,000 times in the last?
I've been listening to you for an hour. What did I say? Name one thing I said. I don't know. It's like, are you a clown, man? It's sad. But it's great comedy. So keep going, Ballers.
Where's Chaiki?
I don't know.
Or maybe this time he sank so far into the swamp he couldn't get out of it again.
In Discord.
No, they're coming after show.
Maybe he's become so slow in his talking that he's no longer like on our frequency. It's like trying to talk to ants now, maybe, with Chaiki.
He's on the server. He's got his
Do you
mic
want-
open.
Do you want to know how Chaiki proving transmission without container?
Oh, brother. We don't want to hear Chaiki. Let's ask him if
Yeah.
the Foucault pendulum does figure eights.
Does Earth turn underneath the pendulum, Chaiki?
Oh, God.
Does
Or
Earth,
Akumu?
does Earth turn under the pendulum?
God.
I just want to point out this is claimed to be the proof Earth spins, and we're asking the Globers on the panel: do you accept this claimed proof that Earth is spinning in the form of Earth turning under a pendulum? And nobody's prepared to say yes.
Best tactic is for them not to engage because they got to lose an argument.
Oh.
Dire times when no one's prepared to say yes when a flat earther asks, does Foucault prove Earth spins? Because Earth's turning underneath at 15 degrees an hour? What about the gyro? Ballers. Does Earth turn underneath the gyroscope at 15 degrees an hour? I get a lot of comments about this. Surely one of you will put your stamp on it and claim Bob proved it. Right, lads?
Nah, I think that the Globers just need to really get together and think about a way how to get our trust back.
Yeah, you just need to work on
more
that
interesting
trust.
question, because they won't answer the other ones, would be what was it that Bob proved was drifting away from what? Because they keep on saying Bob proved 15 degree an hour drift. So what was drifting away from what then?
Yeah,
What are the
15
two
degrees
things
an
that
hour of
drifting
what?
apart?
Exactly. I like to add on to the end of their comment. Oh, of Earth turning underneath the gyroscope? So Earth's turning underneath then? Nah, you and your reference frames have been ruined. There is no drift. Check out this man on a trampoline not drifting. That's what Earth does, no drift. No 15 degrees an hour. Maybe that's a claim I'm making. Maybe I should define Coriolis.
Akambars, do you know what the Foucault pendulum does? You're being called out. He said he hates it when he gets called out. He
Really
finds us
likes it
funny.
when he gets called out.
Akambars,
hey,
please explain. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Every time you say my name is funny. What's up?
What's up, man? Foucault pendulum. Does what happens? Does it do figure eights?
Nas, I don't know what it does. It just swings back and forth.
Well, if it just swings back and forth, then you know what it does.
I'm not a big person on pendulums.
Guys, asking Akumu virus on what is real in what model is like asking a mental patient.
Yeah, but he just answered it. Like what does a pendulum do?
Yeah,
Goes
but he's
back and
gonna
forth.
retract
He
it
just
as
said
soon
it.
as he figures out he's not supposed to say that according to the model and
Yeah,
blah
but
blah
let
blah.
him figure
The guy
that
can
out
barely
later.
keep track
Don't
of what
tell him
he's
about
saying.
it. Oh, come on. So, Virus, is the Earth rotating underneath the pendulum?
Yeah.
Well, then flight times would be reduced when you travelled west, and balls would fly out of your hand at 1,000 miles an hour on the equator. You'd launch a balloon,
Why is that?
and it would land in a different country. Because Earth would be turning underneath those things now, wouldn't it, Virus? If the pendulum was right and Earth was turning underneath it at 15 degrees an hour, that would mean we have drift. And we don't.
Why'd you explain the Coriolis on the equator again? Why'd you do that one more time?
I don't claim Coriolis on the equator, Virus. You do. You want me to claim your claim for you? Sorry, Virus. Sorry, Virus. You want me to detail your claim of Coriolis on the equator? Because I don't claim that, mate. I know you said it earlier. You didn't seem to respond when I said it then either. It's not my claim, it's yours. So perhaps you could detail...
What's my claim about it?
Yeah, your claim about Coriolis on the equator. Maybe you could detail it if it's your claim, which it is.
No, it's really not, because I explained on the other show what my claim was about Coriolis on the equator.
Oh, so you do claim Coriolis then? So you do claim Coriolis then? Define it right now.
What are you not listening to? What
Are you deaf? Are you deaf? You've just explained Coriolis. Shut up. You've just explained.
Maybe you shouldn't talk.
Shut up. Shut up. You've just told me that you have a claim. Totally intolerable. Virus. You're going to just fuck with your mic while I talk to you? You've just told us you have a claim you want me to detail that you made about Coriolis on the equator. So let's get it absolutely straight. You do make a claim about Coriolis then? I don't. You do. You've just made that explicitly clear. So, given that Ed thought it was reasonable because he thought I made claims about Coriolis effect, I don't. You do. Shut up! Shut up! You fucking wanker! What is your malfunction, you dick? Shut the fuck up, you stupid, ignorant dick! So you've just made it clear you do claim Coriolis then, and you want me to parrot back your claim that you make about Coriolis. So I don't, you do. I want you to define it, like I was demanded to do by Ed, given that we've firmly established you do fucking claim it.
Can I speak now?
You can define it, like I was demanded to do. Define Coriolis right now.
You know you made a claim about...
You claim Coriolis on the equator. We've just clarified that. Now define it.
How did you clarify something that I didn't say?
You claimed you have a claim of Coriolis on the equator. You demanded I parrot it back correctly. Ergo, you absolutely have a claim that involves Coriolis. I'm demanding you define it, given it's your claim.
I've made one claim about Coriolis.
Now define it, you dumb fuck.
We don't have it on the equator.
Well, then you don't have any drift, so no proof of Earth turn, you stupid idiot. You don't have it on the equator, so no drift, no 15 degrees an hour deviation. So your claim of Coriolis is to debunk we have it on Earth? No. You've just debunked Coriolis on Earth, Virus. You've just said we don't have it on the equator.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, Virus. I don't know why you would even say that.
Are you thick, Virus? You make a claim about not having this effect that's supposed to prove Earth turns on the equator, so you are quite literally debunking Earth-based Coriolis then?
Not really. I mean,
you've just said it doesn't happen on the equator, you dumb fuck. So it doesn't happen then?
Oh, what I said.
Yeah, you said it doesn't happen on the equator, you dumb shit.
You think I don't know what I just said?
You said it doesn't happen on the equator. So no Coriolis drift at 15 degrees an hour, according to you. You're debunking Earth turn, Virus.
Are you really?
Are you stuttering like a bitch? Yeah, you are. You've just told me no Coriolis on the equator.
Exactly.
So no drift then, no proof Earth spins, no 15 degrees an hour deviation according to you. You've just debunked Earth spinning.
Yeah, I think you got selective hearing.
Are you deaf? You've just debunked Earth spinning, Virus.
I think you're deaf.
Maybe you are deaf.
Dude, you're a straw man.
We all just heard you say
right now. You are burning.
You don't know.
Virus, we all just heard you say there's no drift at the equator. We
Yeah,
just
so
heard you say it.
debunking Earth turn virus, that's what you as a glober telling me I don't understand Coriolis, which I don't claim, has just done. You've told me, well, I do claim Coriolis. I've got a very specific claim about it on the equator. It doesn't happen! So you've debunked Earth turn. Well done, virus, you complete idiot. You're debunking globe Earth turn by way of Coriolis drift, by saying there isn't any on the equator. Well done. Welcome to stationary Earth, you complete moron. You're debunking the globe Earth claim that it spins with Coriolis drift. Because according to you, there isn't any at the equator, right, virus?
Damn Skippy.
Welcome to Flat Earth, brother.
Welcome to
I mean,
stationary
you're really
Earth.
just showing us you don't understand the globe claim of Coriolis.
Do you want to
I'm
define it
loving
for
this.
us?
This is awesome.
Maybe you could define us, given it's your claim you make about the equator and what happens with regard to Coriolis. Maybe you could define it for us and explain how this claim of Earth turning underneath to give us drift at 15 degrees an hour doesn't happen according to you. Maybe you could clarify that, you complete idiot.
No, it just doesn't happen. I'm not going to explain.
Oh, so no, Coriolis, it just doesn't happen. We just don't see Earth turning underneath. It just doesn't happen. So again, for the second time, you're debunking Earth turn then.
Yeah, well, I'm debunking the fact that you think you know what you're talking about with Coriolis.
I don't. You do. It's your claim. For the 5th time, you stupid idiot. It doesn't matter what I think about Coriolis. You're claiming it doesn't happen.
I mean, because you're debunking a straw man. You're not debunking.
Oh, your straw man that you say it doesn't happen doesn't need debunking, you stupid idiot. You've told us it doesn't happen. So what do I need to debunk now, virus? You've told us it doesn't happen, mate. So you've debunked it by yourself. No need for any straw man on my part. I don't make any claims about Coriolis. You do. You claim it doesn't happen. So no debunking needed. You've done it for us.
Yeah, did you not hear us welcome you to flat stationary Earth? That's
Not our
'cause you
version
just
of
said
Coriolis, so.
There's no drift at the equator. So, yeah, we agree with that.
Maybe you'd
Earth's
like
not
to now,
rotating.
virus, maybe you'd like to give us a demonstration now of a man on a trampoline not drifting as a really wonderful example of how you don't have Coriolis. Maybe show us someone not drifting on a trampoline and tell us all about how the reference frames are ruined and we don't have Coriolis drift.
Yeah, your reference frames has been ruined.
So no drift then, no Coriolis effect, Earth is not turning.
We still got our Coriolis and we still got our reference frames. Yours has been ruined.
Right, you're a thicko. You're telling me about how you don't have 2 reference frames, no drift on the equator, but still want to claim that you've got 2 reference frames. So what's drifting apart then, virus? What's drifting away at 15 degrees an hour if you do have 2 reference frames?
Yeah, I don't understand what you're talking about when you say.
Yeah, so you don't understand Coriolis while you're asking me to define it when I don't claim it. You're claiming it and I haven't got the vaguest clue what it even is. So I'll ask again, given you don't know what this is. What's drifting at 15 degrees an hour, virus? 2 reference frames, you said.
You tell me.
It's your claim, you stupid shit. How many times have you fundies got to ask me to give you your claim? No, mate. You claim Earth turns underneath at 15 degrees an hour and stuff drifts apart. I'm asking you to tell me exactly what drifts at 15 degrees an hour, and you're asking me to do it for you. It's not my claim. How many times?
I don't know.
You don't know. Yeah, we know you don't know. None of you thickos on the globe side even understand what Coriolis is. But you're more than happy to ask me to define it when you claim it.
We don't understand your version of Coriolis.
Not my version. I'm not claiming it. How many times do you complete idiots need me to tell you? It's your claim.
You probably have to tell us as many times as we have to tell you that that's not our claim.
What is your claim?
Not that.
What is it? You dumb fuck. So, I've got your claim wrong, so we're finally in agreement it's your fucking claim then. Maybe you'd like to clarify your claim! No, maybe you'd like to chuckle while I rape you.
What?
Yeah, I'm absolutely annihilating you, stupid shit. You don't even know what Coriolis is. Yet you're simultaneously telling us it doesn't happen on the equator, but you have got 2 reference frames. I ask you what's drifting, and you haven't got a fucking clue what I'm even talking about.
Because you asking me what's drifting, you didn't give me an object or anything. I don't.
Yeah, with Earth turning underneath at 15 degrees now, what's drifting away from us? There you go, you've got the reference frames and the object. Anything not attached. What's drifting at 15 degrees now, Virus?
I don't understand what you're saying when you say what's...
Yeah, it's your fucking claim. We know you don't know what I'm saying. You think I've got it wrong, when in reality you don't know what you're even claiming. So because you don't know what you're claiming, you think you need to make it into a claim I'm making. No, you don't understand your own claim. You don't even appreciate it's a claim you're making. You laugh it up, you dumb fuck. You're asking me to define it and justify and explain it, and it's your claim that you don't understand. I ask you what's drifting and you haven't got a clue.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I know you don't understand, you're thick. Yet you're here to tell us all about how you understand pendulums and drift, and tell us we've got 2 reference frames. You have no idea what you're talking about, do you?
Yeah, I know.
So what's drifting? Okay, we've got 2 reference frames. Okay, you know what you're talking about. Yeah, you know. So what's drifting?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you said stuff's drifting. I'm using your words. You said we still have 2 reference frames. Your words! So we've got 2 reference frames. So what's in one of them and what's in the other? It's your fucking claim.
I never said that.
You said we've got 2 reference frames, though. You lying bastard.
Who said that?
Sorry, you said it only 5 minutes ago. We do have 2 reference frames, though. That was your words.
I didn't say that.
You fucking lying bastard.
He acknowledged my clarifying question when you first came in here, right? And I asked you, is the Earth rotating underneath the pendulum? What was your answer?
Yep.
Virus.
Yep. It was yeah.
Yep, right? That would be 2 reference frames, right?
It's a bunch of
He doesn't fucking know. He doesn't know when he's saying he's got 2 reference frames. He even said we've still got 2 reference frames. That's a verbatim quote from him that he's just lied about. The reality is he doesn't know when he's claiming separate reference frames and when he isn't. They don't know their own claim of Coriolis.
Nope.
I know my own claim.
What's in one reference frame and what's in the other?
I never said anything about...
You dumb fuck. Tell me all about how you know, and then when I ask you a specific detail about what you've claimed, you don't even know what you've claimed.
Yes, I do.
What's in the first reference frame and what's in the second? What's in the first reference frame? Fundy mute time. What's in the first reference frame and what's in the second?
I don't know which one came.
You don't know, you dumb fuck. I know you don't know. You continually lie and say you do.
What?
You've told us you do understand.
Frames are called.
He's just dishonest. He's just dishonest. Why are you carrying on with him?
You're a lying bastard. You have no fucking clue what you're claiming. You don't know what Coriolis is. You don't know what the reference frames are. You don't know what would be in the reference frames. You know how to fucking talk through me, though, don't you? Yeah? You know how to talk through me while I tell you about how stupid you are. You know how to talk when I'm talking. Yeah, I asked you what's in a different reference frame and you haven't got a clue.
He thinks that drift and the Coriolis effect are 2 different things. That's their claim. That's what they're trying to argue for. They're trying to argue that drift and the Coriolis effect.
I don't know where you came up with that BS.
That's exactly what you're going on with.
You're going to tell me what I think?
That's exactly
get it
it.
right.
No, he's right, Brian. No, that's fair enough. We don't know what you think. Maybe you could define Coriolis for us, so we know what you think it is.
We already know what I'm...
Oh, we already know, do we? But you don't, you dumb shit. You haven't got the vaguest clue what you're talking about.
Videos of me explaining Coriolis and
so
how
define it right now.
Virus, it should be real simple, right? You said that the way we define Coriolis was wrong. So we're asking you to give us your definition of Coriolis. Simple.
I just did.
What, while he was talking?
Sounds fair.
No, I started doing it and somebody started talking. I mean, that's I always do that. I mean, it's nothing different. conservation of angular momentum over a spinning body, which causes things to appear to drift even though they're going straight.
Or conservation of momentum
Angular
would mean
momentum.
it's conserving the momentum. That's not drifting. You don't understand what Coriolis effect. That is not Coriolis effect.
Yeah, okay. Then explain to me why would something deviate to the east? If everything is Earth turned underneath, then everything would go west, right?
Yeah, according to the claim that we spin, but that doesn't happen,
No,
does
that's
it?
not according to me. That's not.
Oh, sorry. So I claim Earth spins and things deflect off to the west, do I? No, you dumb shit. That's your fucking claim, not mine. How many times have I got to tell these globe-believing retards? I don't claim Coriolis, you do.
We're telling you it
You
doesn't
claim to know what
happen,
Coriolis
Virus.
is.
You're trying to understand what Coriolis is. I already know.
See? Exactly.
Yeah, you don't know what you're claiming, even though it's a proof you think has Earth spinning underneath stuff not attached.
Nah, that's your.
No, yeah, you just said it's conservation of momentum, which it isn't, you dumb shit.
How do you know that?
Because it's on screen, the definition for my audience right now. I'm looking at a GIF that's showing something not conserving momentum as it shows apparent deflection. It's not got it in the description.
Isn't that same one you always...
Now maybe you'd like to cite your fucking definition, given that mine is on screen and in no way describes conservation momentum. Now give us your citation, dickhead.
And scroll down some.
Give us your citation.
I already posted it like 3 or 4 times in the chat. Hold on. Let me go find it again. Let's see. Ooh. And it's actually the same citation that QE posted.
Just read it out.
The Coriolis effect, sometimes known as the Coriolis force, refers to an apparent deflection of objects such as airplanes, winds, missiles, and ocean currents moving in a straight path relative to the Earth's surface. Its strength is proportional to the speed of the Earth's rotation at different latitudes. Nah.
So that's Earth rotating underneath. So you've just defined Earth rotating underneath and in no way describing the conservation of angular momentum.
Did you just...
Are you a stuttering twat? You did not in any way describe conservation of momentum. You described apparent deflection as Earth turns underneath. And according to that citation, correct me if I'm wrong, it's turning underneath aeroplanes, right?
Yeah.
So it's turning underneath aeroplanes. That would shorten flight times when travelling west. If Earth was turning underneath aeroplanes, Virus, that doesn't happen. But according to your citation, definitely not describing conservation of momentum. It's saying Earth turns underneath aeroplanes, mate.
No, you just
stutter and laugh for me, yeah. Your citation has got Earth turning under planes. Then a flight from Charlotte, North Carolina to LA would take an hour and a half and not 4 hours. Because Earth would be turning underneath, according to your citation.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah, oh my God, blasphemy. No, Earth is claimed to turn underneath aeroplanes in your citation. That would shorten flight times.
It doesn't even say that in my citation. You're adding
Yes,
stuff
it does.
to it. You're adding stuff to it.
No, it's fuck off.
Where does it say it?
Say
Let me
it
know that
again.
Read it out again, you lying bastard.
The Coriolis effect, also known as Coriolis force, refers to apparent deflection of objects moving in a straight path relative to Earth's surface. The objects they named was airplane, winds, missiles.
Airplanes, you lying piece of shit! So that would be Earth turning under aeroplanes, exactly as you've just read out twice, and then lied about.
So you gotta add...
So you lied, you piece of shit! Yes, your citation has Earth turning under aeroplanes. That would reduce flight times. Do you understand?
It says nothing about Earth turning underneath.
Apparent deflection.
You're retards.
Yeah, you're thick as shit.
What else is going to
Where does it say Earth turning underneath the...
Apparent deflection.
That does not say Earth turn underneath.
Oh, sorry,
So
in
where does it
relation
say
to...
Earth turn underneath.
All right, hold on. Let's listen to this. The Coriolis effect From Tutco, used to be physics about. The Coriolis effect is an apparent effect, an illusion produced by the rotating frame of reference. This type of effect is also known as a fictitious force or an inertial force. The Coriolis effect occurs when an object moving along a straight path is viewed from a non-fixed frame of reference. Typically, this moving frame of reference is the Earth, which rotates at a fixed speed. When you view an object in the air that is following a straight path, the object will appear to lose its course because of the Earth's rotation. The object is not actually off its course. It only appears to be doing so because the Earth is turning beneath it.
So Coriolis effect has Earth turning underneath.
Keep going! That's it!
Yeah. Your claim of Coriolis has Earth turning underneath.
Nah, you didn't just read this. You just didn't read this whole thing. I'm looking at it as you're reading.
I didn't need to read the whole thing. You're fucked right here.
Watch your blood pressure.
Yeah, because we're dealing with wankers that we define how your effect doesn't happen and you tell us we've defined it wrong. It's your claim. And when you read it out from your citation, you've very specifically got Earth turning underneath aeroplanes. And if Earth turns under aeroplanes, it shortens their flight times.
Yep.
Okay, so this is where, this is where on his thing where he left, this is the same exact one. Main cause of the Coriolis effect is Earth's rotation. As Earth spins in a counterclockwise direction on its axis, anything flying or flowing over a long distance above its surface is deflected.
Yeah, so Earth turns underneath aeroplanes then. So anything travelling a long distance will have Earth turning underneath it. That would shorten flight times. How many times have you got to explain that your claim has got Earth turning underneath aeroplanes? You're just going to ignore it?
The speed of the Earth decreases and the Coriolis effect increases.
You just said it. He just said it, Nathan. The Earth is moving east under the object. He just said it. He didn't even realize it.
He just just confirmed the Earth would be spinning.
He's reading the same citation from Kosho I got like 2 years ago.
Yeah, this is the exact same one QE has.
Yeah,
but I'm reading on a little bit further than what you.
Yeah,
I'm reading.
That's right, Virus. Yes, that's correct. You're reading a citation that claims Earth turns underneath planes at 15 degrees an hour, and that would shorten their flight times.
That's the problem with reading without comprehension.
Yeah.
A pilot flying along the equator itself would be able to continue flying along the equator without any apparent deflection. I wonder why that is. This is the same.
Because without any apparent deflection will show us.
This is the exact same citation.
Retard. You don't know the difference between a reference and a citation. It's the same one. Does the Earth rotate underneath objects?
This is the same one. This is the same one you was reading.
Rotate underneath planes.
Yeah, Virus, you denied this. And now you've read your own citation. You've had one read to you by QE.
And it's going with what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're not listening.
Exactly
Virus, can you not interrupt? Virus. Virus, can you calm down? Calm your blood pressure. I'll ask again. You've denied...
Hold on.
No, not hold on. You shut up and listen.
Okay, go for it.
Shut up. Yeah, chuckle it up, fun boy.
You told me to calm down. I was calming down.
I need you to shut up and you're still not. So... Virus, you denied, you're still muttering through me, you complete wanker. You denied that Earth turns underneath planes, and now you've read out a citation that specifically details.
I never denied.
And now you're still interrupting me. What a wanker! I'll try again, Virus.
Yeah, you're a wanker.
Yeah. You're just going to keep ad homing me. You are absolutely a wanker. You've denied that planes have Earth turning underneath them, and then read out a citation that claims exactly that.
Do you not remember?
Why are you asking me something? You've denied that Earth turns under planes. Now, if Earth turns under planes, they'll have shortened flight times. That's why it doesn't happen. You've specifically read out a citation that says it should, after denying it. Now you're denying it. And you're still talking through me before I finish any sentences. Every time. That's 4 attempts. I'll try for a 5th attempt with him mumbling away through me. What a wanker. Don't mumble through me. Shut your mouth. You've specifically denied that you would ever claim Earth turns underneath anything. You denied it multiple times. Then, whilst muttering through me like a complete prick, 7th attempt. You denied that Earth turns underneath planes. You said, I've never claimed that Earth turns underneath planes. Then read out a citation that said Earth turns... What a wanker. 8 attempts, Virus. 8 attempts. Do you think you're being reasonable, you complete prick? Are you being reasonable, you complete prick? Is this reasonable behaviour to interrupt me 8 times? 9 times. I've got to ask you the same question with you interrupting every time.
10 times, 11 times. Just keep fucking talking.
Shut up! Just shut the fuck up,
All
man.
you gotta do is wait for him to finish, then state your point. Very
He could be explaining it right now, Ari.
Yeah, he still won't shut up, will you? Right. Yeah, the moment I open my mouth, he starts talking. You are a total bastard.
Did it before you said something. Asshole.
I was leaving a pause so I could ask the question. Now we're into debating how long a pause you've left. Shut your mouth, you dumb globe head fuck! Shut up!
Quit acting like a baby. Wow. Come on, man.
This will be my 9th attempt with you muttering through me non-stop, will it? Thank you. You specifically denied Earth turning underneath planes, then went and got a citation that specifically detailed Earth turning underneath planes. Now, my question to you is, A, why have you lied about denying that you would ever claim this, only to then read out a citation that claims exactly that? Further to that, Virus, if Earth turns under planes exactly as claimed in your citation, then the flight times would be reduced. And I'd like to address why you're claiming in citation Earth turns under planes when that would shorten flight times.
Can I speak now? Or you just giving a pause? All right. So, if you remember in an earlier conversation we had, somebody said something about why don't we see planes deviate? I said specifically, planes experience Coriolis, but they have other things to worry about, like other winds and stuff. They have to make micro adjustments for other things than Coriolis.
I understand.
Coriolis isn't as big
Guys. Okay, I understand. So, can you explain this to me, please, Virus? Hopefully without interrupting me 9 times. Is Coriolis an effect that's observed on a plane? Or is it observed from the ground as you rotate underneath something?
It will be in the non-inertial reference frame.
Which one's that?
The ground.
So when you say that the plane has got all sorts of things to worry about, that would be absolutely nothing to do with observing it from the ground as you turn underneath it then? So you don't understand Coriolis?
Yes, it does. It's a major part of it.
So observing something seem to drift from the ground needs accounting for in the plane, does it? No, you don't understand Coriolis. You're incorrect. The actual path that the plane has to worry about is its actual path, and Coriolis is detailing what you observe it seem to do from the ground. So no, the plane hasn't got all sorts to worry about when it comes to Coriolis effect. In fact, it has absolutely no... Shut up!
Thanks for agreeing with me.
Shut up, you dumb fuck! No, you are wrong, Virus. The plane has absolutely nothing to... Is that Virus interrupting me? Of course it is. Can you stop muttering through me while I annihilate your point that the plane's got a lot to worry about with Coriolis? No, Virus. The plane has an actual trajectory, and that's nothing to do with Coriolis, which is observed from the ground as you turn underneath something. So no, the plane...
Wow.
You're a wanker. You sat coughing while I'm talking. You're a prick.
That wasn't me.
Virus, do you understand what just happened, man?
Virus, of course he doesn't.
You understand? You just said the non-inertial reference frame is the ground. That's where the Coriolis would be experienced, right?
Would be seen.
So the plane's got nothing to account for then. It's only seen from the ground. The plane does not have to account for it, as you stated. It's got a lot to worry about. Well, it hasn't got to worry about Coriolis, you dumb shit.
What'd you say, you dumb shit?
You don't need to account for it in the plane, which is what you declared incorrectly.
No, I just said you don't have to because you have other things to worry about.
Not Coriolis, though. The plane is irrelevant of the effect observed from the ground, something you seem to be dancing past. You need to be turning underneath planes to have Coriolis effect. And if you're turning underneath a plane, it shortens its flight time.
I don't think you get it. I just told you they don't need to account for it because there's other factors at play that are
why do
greatly
you bring up
affecting it more than what Coriolis
plane every
would.
time we're talking
So
about
no,
the
you
Coriolis
would not
effect?
have shorter flight times.
Yeah, it would. If Earth's turning underneath a plane, as is described in your citation, then it would shorten flight times. Because Earth's turning underneath it.
Nathan, so Nathan, you think that Coriolis is just Earth turning underneath things?
No,
Am I
you
correct?
do. That's your claim. Why is it that every time we get to this stage, it's asserted like I'm claiming Earth turns underneath shit? No, that's not what I'm saying. It's very specifically what you're claiming, and it would shorten flight times.
No, that is not my claim.
Yeah, it is. That's the globe claim, and you're a glober, therefore your claim. Yes, you read out your citation for your claim with Earth turning under planes. Yes, it is your claim. You read it out, you dumb shit.
Not my claim.
Oh, why did you read it out then, you dumb shit?
It is not short flight time.
It's not your claim. Why did you read it out then, you dumb shit?
I did not read it the way you just said it.
You read it out, it was on the page with Earth turning underneath planes, and that would shorten flight times. Now you're saying it's not your claim, even though you read it out, you're just a liar.
Sorta.
Is he fundy muting me every time I talk?
Page
guys in Discord. The guys in Discord, not virus. Guys in Discord, not virus. Is he talking through every word I say?
Yep.
So he's not listening to anything I say then?
Nope.
What gives, virus? Why did you read out a claim that Earth turns underneath planes to later now say that you're not claiming it when you've just read it out? You're a liar.
I am not. Can you at least get what I'm saying?
You're a stuttering bitch liar. You just read out your claim, not mine, yours, and it had Earth turning underneath aeroplanes. That would shorten flight times. It is your claim. You read it out.
Yeah, nowhere on that page does it say shorten flight times.
Yeah, it does say Earth turning underneath, though, doesn't it? And that would shorten flight times if Earth turned underneath flights.
Why don't you go there?
Why are you asking me to do something? You simply aren't acknowledging that your claim you read out has Earth turning underneath planes, and that would shorten flight times. That's your claim. Are we past it being my claim now? I take it we're past it being my claim now. You appreciate this is your claim, given you read it out and you think Earth turns under planes.
Show me on that page where it says shorten flight times.
It says Earth turning underneath.
Nathan,
can you show me where it's showing the football field?
Nathan, he's saying because it doesn't say that, because it doesn't say it's shortened flight times, then it's not true.
You're implying it. You're assuming it.
It's not implying it.
Natural
it logically
consequence,
follows
Akuma.
from it. Oh my God.
That's what would happen if Earth turned underneath the plane, virus.
Problem is, it doesn't.
This guy is
Reading
so
without
dishonest.
comprehension.
No,
Just a
he's not
dishonest
dishonest.
prick, that's all.
He's a moron.
No, you don't know what he read.
This is what the model has to have them do. They have to double speak like this.
I'd like for him to tell us
hold
the
on a
difference
second.
between drift and the Coriolis.
Oh, he left. He left.
All right.
He had to run away. He had to run
Oh,
away.
he's back again.
Talking
He's
about
back.
an old definition.
Sorry, I
that
think
we
my
used to
Discord
battle
went
with.
out.
His Discord went out. He's back. Let me ask you a question. This will be one of the last ones. So you admit that the Earth rotates underneath planes, correct?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if a plane takes off on a runway from Charlotte, North Carolina, the runway's facing west towards its targets, LAX. So as soon as you get wheels up, the Earth is turning into the plane's face while it's in the air. So that would shorten its flight time because the Earth is turning about 900 miles an hour from west to east, while the plane is flying east to west. So you have to add the plane's airspeed and the ground speed. So let's say the plane's flying at 500 miles an hour. What's so funny about that?
You're trying to get me to say that planes fly backwards.
No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm trying to get you to understand that the article doesn't have to say this. It logically follows from it. If the Earth is turning underneath that plane from Charlotte, North Carolina, from west to east, and the plane's flying east to west at 500 miles an hour, then it would shorten the flight time, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Maybe on a flat Earth it probably would.
Nope.
Right, he just said, hold on, let me just clarify what he just said. He just said maybe on a flat Earth it would. You guys are so obsessed with making this Coriolis thing our claim. It isn't our claim. What, maybe on a flat Earth we'd have Earth turning underneath virus?
Ask that question again.
Maybe on a flat Earth we'd have Earth turning underneath second reference frame? No, mate, it's your claim. You read it out.
I know what I read. Y'all are implying other stuff, which is cool. I don't have a problem with it. But y'all can't put that on me. Can I explain it to you?
No, we have a problem with it.
Implying and assuming. That's
you don't have a problem with your claim that Earth turns underneath planes. We're saying we have a problem with that. Of course he's going to talk through every fucking word. Yeah, we have a problem with that virus because if Earth turns underneath planes, it would shorten flight times. And you're saying, well, it doesn't specifically say that. No, it says Earth turns underneath them and that would shorten flight times. The fact that you can't comprehend that is a testament to your stupidity. Not because it's not logically consistent. Absolutely. If Earth was turning under aeroplanes, it would shorten their flight times.
It didn't even say that. You implied that as well.
I applied it to your claim of Coriolis when it described having Earth turn underneath a plane to cause apparent deflection from the ground as you observe it. No, that's Earth turning underneath a plane in your description and your definition that you claim on a turning Earth with a second reference frame. Maybe on a flat Earth we'd have two reference frames claimed. Maybe you could debunk them if we claimed them on a flat Earth. Maybe you could tell us that you and your reference frames are ruined on a flat Earth that we don't claim. You complete idiot. We don't claim Coriolis. You do.
Just coming up with it. Not your version.
My version? How many times? I don't have a version to punt. I don't claim this. So maybe my version of what? Coriolis? What version? I don't have reference frames and a claim Earth turns underneath planes, shortening flight times. That's your claim, Dumbo.
Yeah, we know your reference frame's been ruined. Of course you don't have them.
Sorry, what reference frames?
And it's your version of Coriolis.
Okay. So it's my reference frames. Given that in this conversation, he'll no doubt interrupt me 5 times during me saying this. In this conversation, you made a very specific point that you have a claim about what happens on a globe Earth at the equator with Coriolis. Who's causing that feedback? Who's got their mic wide open in Discord? You make that claim. Why do you feel it's necessary to tell me that my Coriolis effect and my reference frames are ruined when I don't have any?
They're your versions of them, not ours.
My version that I claim what with?
That the globe claims that they claim.
Sorry, I claim that the globe claims, do I? That's a claim I'm making because I'm a globehead making globe claims, am I?
No, you're a flathead.
So it's your claim then, not mine. So it's my claim about your claim. No, that's just your claim.
Oh, no.
So my claim about your claim is just your claim.
Nope.
No? Oh, so I do make a claim about second reference frame, Earth turning underneath. I make a claim about that, do I?
You make a straw man claim about what we say.
So that would be your claim then. So I describe what you claim.
No, you don't. Well, if you did, you do a very poor job of it.
Oh, of course. Because you telling me in a citation that Earth turns under planes and us pointing out that that would shorten flight times is met with you saying, no, that's not logically consistent because basically you are thick as shit.
Because that's not what Coriolis is about. Because if that's what Coriolis is, then the sun, the stars, and the moon would be moving because of Coriolis, and they
that's what you're claiming, you dumb shit. That is precisely what the globe claims, you idiot. My God, you thick as shit. Oh, well, if we had Coriolis, then the sun would be moving because Earth's turning underneath it. What, precisely like the heliocentric model claims?
Wow.
We don't claim that.
Oh, you don't claim that. You don't claim the sun moves because Earth's turning underneath it, you dumb shit. Yes, you do, you dumb globehead shithead. Yes, that is exactly what you claim, you stupid moron. You don't even know your own claim. You think I claim it.
Virus, why is the sun moving?
Earth rotation.
Oh, so you appreciate that that's a claim of Earth turning underneath then, you dumb fuck?
What? No.
Wow, bro.
No.
What? No? So why does the sun move? Well, because of Earth rotation. So that's Earth rotating underneath. No!
Celestial bodies move. Right.
Right, so Earth isn't turning under the sun then.
The sun, the celestial bodies do not move because of Coriolis.
Welcome to Flat Earth. Yeah, welcome to Flat Earth and non-rotating Earth. Yeah, that's right. We agree, Virus. The sun's movement has absolutely nothing to do with the claim that Earth turns. We agree.
What? That has nothing to do.
Yeah, that's right. What? I can't believe I just said that. Yeah, we had the exact same thing from Ed, telling us that no, Coriolis effect's got nothing to do with the sun. Yeah, because you don't know what Coriolis effect is, or you'd appreciate that on a globe Earth, you claim that's the exact cause of the movement of the sun. Earth turning underneath, you dumb shit. That's your claim again. Not my claim, not my misunderstanding of your claim, not my claim of your claim, just your claim you're now debunking. So, like Ed, you're now saying Earth doesn't turn under the sun to cause it to move. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Hey, welcome to the universe, man.
Yeah, welcome to Flat Earth. You've just told us Coriolis and sun movement aren't related. So, not Earth turning under the sun then. Welcome to Flat Earth, you dumb shit.
See, your misunderstanding of Coriolis.
Oh, it's my misunderstanding of your dumb fuck non-understanding of Coriolis, where you tell us Earth turning under the sun isn't related to Coriolis, you dumb shit. Yeah, I don't understand this, don't I, you dumb fuck?
Yeah. What?
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand how it's logically consistent that Earth turning under planes would shorten flight times, and I think that Coriolis effect has nothing to do with Earth turning the sun. Yeah, we agree. Earth turning has nothing to do with the sun's movement. That Coriolis deviation we're supposed to see in the sun isn't real according to you, right?
No, you're...
Oh, you just told us Coriolis and sun movement aren't related.
Yeah, I'm right.
Oh, so Earth turning under the sun isn't causing it to move then? So welcome to Flat Earth. You've just debunked the claim that Earth turn causes the sun movement, you dumb shit. That's a Coriolis claim!
No.
No! Yeah, you dumb motherfucker. That is a Coriolis claim, you dumb shit.
Pencil. Yeah, just gonna talk over me?
Yeah.
Is it now your weak ass attempt to claim I'm fucking muting you? No, you dumb motherfucker. Coriolis is claimed to be the cause of the sun movement in the heliocentric model.
No, Earth rotation is Earth rotation.
Yeah, that's claimed to be the cause of the sun moving. It's called Coriolis effect. Something you just denied, you dumb fuck.
That's not the reason why the celestial bodies move.
Oh, why is the reason the celestial bodies move then?
Earth rotation.
Just explain to me in a very
Earth
very dumb
rotation?
way.
So Earth moving underneath them then, you dumb shit? So you're claiming Earth turns underneath the sun now, something you've just said isn't Coriolis, when that is precisely what Coriolis effect is.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I know what Coriolis is.
You sure about that?
Yes! You dumb shit! I'm absolutely 100% certain that the globe claims Coriolis is the cause of the sun's movement. It isn't because we aren't spinning. It isn't because flight times would be reduced if we had a second non-inertial spinning reference frame turning underneath stuff attached and then detached because you threw it Like a ball on the equator that would fly away 1,000 miles an hour if we were turning underneath, as is claimed with the sun.
Nathan, can I quickly...
that doesn't have... There is zero Coriolis on the equator.
Well, then there's no Earth turn proof at 15 degrees now, you dumb shit. You've debunked Earth turn then.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Can I quickly talk?
Please, whoever's interrupting us continually asking to talk, please stop. Clearly we're in the middle of a bloody conversation. Isn't it obvious? No, Virus, you're debunking Earth turn by saying there's no Coriolis effect. You're supposed to have 15 degrees an hour of it.
Not on the equator.
Oh, really? So Earth stops turning underneath stuff at the equator, does it, you dumb shit?
Well, maybe if you had a further understanding of Coriolis, you would.
I do. I understand it implicitly. You are a dumb fuck who hasn't got the vaguest clue what you're babbling about.
Okay.
No, not okay. You're enraging. You're a thick shit who's come here to tell me I don't understand Coriolis and get me to define it like I'm claiming it. When you claim, with citation, Earth turns under planes. Absolutely ludicrous, because we'd have shortened flight times. You then deny that the sun's movement has anything to do with Coriolis, when it's very specifically Coriolis. You just don't understand this stuff, even in your own model.
So, when would things deviate east?
In your claim of Earth turning underneath? You tell me, you dumb shit! It's your claim!
You know Coriolis. You said I don't. So
yeah, I do know Coriolis. Throw a ball off a roundabout, watch it seem to deviate because you turn underneath it. There you go, Coriolis described. That's supposed to happen on Earth.
Deviate east. When do things deviate east?
It's your claim on an Earth that's spinning with an east direction of drift or motion.
But
that's your claim.
Coriolis, so answer the question.
What, my claim about Coriolis needs justifying by your questioning of it? It's not my claim, dumb shit. How many times?
Coriolis is questioned right now.
Yeah, I'm not claiming it, you dumb shit.
I didn't say you was claiming it.
So why do I need to define it and justify it then when you're claiming it and it doesn't happen?
Your knowledge of Coriolis is being questioned.
I don't claim it. You do.
I didn't say you did.
So you need to have good knowledge of it because you're claiming it.
You said you know Coriolis.
I do. Throw a ball off a roundabout, watch it appear to take a curved path because you turn underneath it. That is Coriolis effect and is what's supposed to happen on Earth. Throw a ball and it should drift 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, like in my roundabout example. Now, if that occurred with a plane, the flight time would be reduced because Earth would be turning under the plane.
When do things deviate east?
There's nothing to do with it.
It has a lot of things to do with it. When do things deviate east?
No, it doesn't.
You saying that just shows me you don't understand Coriolis.
Exclusively apply to the Earth.
Me and Nathan are having a conversation, Arwen.
Yeah. I know. I've had to endure that shit from the Google panel for almost an hour now.
Well,
why don't you listen? Your Coriolis effect you think applies to Earth. That's not Coriolis effect.
Okay, then I ask you, when do things
Coriolis effect is an apparent deviation from one reference frame to another, and that's it.
All he's going to do, Arwen, is continually interrupt you, asking you when things deviate east on a globe Earth that spins, something you're not claiming and he is and doesn't understand. He's going to interrupt you continually, asking you to give his claim.
Don't give my claim. Show that you understand Coriolis.
We do. I've just explained it with a roundabout and a ball being thrown off it. I'll do it again. Spin on a roundabout, throw a ball, watch it seem to curve away from you as you spin underneath it. That is Coriolis and is claimed to be an occurrence on a spinning Earth. That would be you throw a ball, it leaves the spinning Earth and flies away from you at whatever latitude speed is allocated to your bullshit model. That does not happen. That's right. Your claim that doesn't happen being debunked. Maybe ask me to justify Coriolis again, like I'm claiming it rather than debunking it.
Nope, I didn't ask you to in the first place.
What? Yeah, you've asked me non-stop.
Yeah, nothing is deviating east, idiot. The Earth is not spinning, idiot. There is no deviation east, idiot.
So that's not what the globe claims. I'm asking you about if you understand Coriolis.
Globe claims Coriolis, you stupid shit.
Completely different.
Globe claims Coriolis, you dumb shit.
It's different.
Can I
understand
talk
Coriolis?
now about what I was wanting to ask?
All he just keeps doing is asking us to justify his claim of things drifting.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. All I'm asking is if you understand Coriolis. If you understand Coriolis, you can answer this question.
I've explained it 4 times in the last 5 minutes.
You haven't described anything about a motion going east.
Sorry, east has nothing to do with Coriolis deflection and everything to do with your globe Earth claim.
You sure?
You stuttering bitch! Yeah, that's right. East has everything to do with your claim that a spinning Earth has Coriolis.
Coriolis is everything goes west.
On a globe that you're claiming!
No, on the globe that I claim, everything doesn't deviate west.
Oh, it isn't? It's not deviating. Welcome to freaking flat Earth.
So no deviation then? No 15 degrees an hour drift as Earth turns underneath then, virus?
Dumbass.
Mutter that we're dumb while we point out that nothing's drifting. There is no Earth-based Coriolis. The assignment of this west direction is applicable only to your globe Earth claim. We're not claiming that. You are.
What you're claiming is that the globe claims it.
I'm claiming that the globe. You dumb motherfucker. How many times have I got to tell you no? No, I'm not claiming that the globe. I don't claim that, you do. I'm not claiming a globe. You are, you dumb motherfucker.
No, I don't claim your straw man argument.
Yourself twice, Akumu virus. You
don't
read
claim
it
your straw man
out
argument.
twice.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to claim your straw man argument.
Read it out twice.
Virus.
I'm not going to claim your straw man argument.
Virus, if you take a ball, just take a ball, a big ball, and take a golf ball and hold it towards it, and just turn that big ball. What is happening?
I could barely hear you. I had to turn it up. Say it again.
Take 2 balls. Take a larger ball and a small ball. Hold the small ball off of the larger ball and just turn the larger ball. What is happening?
Nothing. One's spinning, the other one's not. What are you talking about?
So the larger ball would be your Earth. That smaller ball would be your Sun.
Okay.
That's Coriolis. If you are on your larger ball, you'll see the sun.
Coriolis.
He's not going to listen. He's not going to listen. He's going to interrupt you every word of it. You're into the middle of an explanation.
Okay.
He's got to start talking. He's still doing it right now. Total cunt. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth. You dumb cunt.
I'm trying to address the
Shut
person
up!
that's talking.
Are you deaf, you dumb cunt?
Finish!
He hasn't fucking finished. He's explaining your stupid misapprehensions about your own fucking claim. And you're interrupting him at every opportunity.
Okay,
you're doing it now, you
one
dumb
for
cunt.
Earth.
Shut up!
What else?
Shut up!
I'm letting him know what I understood so far.
Don't give a shit. Just shut the fuck up. We don't give a shit what you think. Shut the fuck up.
And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making today's after show possible. Of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.